Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. My name is Todd. This is the reaction stream where we go through one member requested video at a time as we journey around the internet. Lots of different topics, lots of different things, I guess you could say, shows, music, comedy, everything you could possibly think of, all requested by members. Welcome in Rocco Kitty, everybody else as well. Whether you chat in or not, whether you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else, I appreciate it. Appreciate it greatly. Thanks for your time. As always, we got some amazing videos for you today. There's only 4 of them technically, but we're going to split one of them into 2, so it'll be technically same 5-video structure. We'll just kind of split one with a little bit of information. If you're new here, we react to the video, and then we go over some information, kind of educate myself and yourself, if you've seen it or not, and we have a good time. Basically it. So we have 4 videos today. And like I was saying, if you'd like to request a video and literally guide the stream, you can certainly do so over at toddreacts.com. The season tier, you request 2 videos per month. Series tier, you request 3 videos per month. And there's other tiers available for you there as well. So certainly check it out today. I did the website. I worked on it, everything like that, picked the design, everything. So hopefully it works and works well for you. We were having a little trouble with the, I think it was the accessories page. It was under maintenance, not of my doing. Hopefully it's up at this point, right? But while you're there, check out the winter collection of merch available right now through just over 64 days left until we switch over to the summer collection. Have some new items there for you as well. Ships worldwide. Members of the website, as you can see on the website, says 15% off. Did I say ships worldwide? I did. Lots of inclusive sizing. Try to select as many colors available as possible to fit your style. I don't know exactly what colors you look best in, so I wanted to give you as many options as humanly possible are available. Obviously, I am wearing the signature hoodie. It is Under Armour branded, as you can see. Amazing. Lovely. It's very soft. As you can tell, I mean, it is Under Armour branded, so it is quite premium. Quality is guaranteed on every order. Any sort of like print error or anything like that, it can happen from time to time, I guess. I've never had that issue so far. But if it happens, you just contact the customer service, which is available on the website, and they will replace or refund you. No questions asked. Wonderful stuff. I've communicated with the customer service team a couple times, and they're pretty responsive, which is amazing. And I love the fact that there is a guarantee. This website, it's amazing. Truly, been a joy. Check out the accessories as well. Those are always 15% off. They're always there as well. There's no like swapping in and out of these. I do add to it from time to time. The most recent ones were these phone cases up here, the Samsung Tough Case and the MagSafe iPhone Tough Case. Those go through. You basically pick whichever device you have from a very long list. A lot of Samsung Galaxies to choose from. And you can also choose between glossy and matte, whatever kind of style you'd like. And then the MagSafe goes from the 14 all the way to the 16 Pro Max, most recent one, of course. I'll keep my commentary on the look of iPhones and whatnot and phones in general aside, other than the fact that they do look quite alike from year to year. There's not huge changes. But anyway. Rocks Glass I have before me. This is an energy drink. The flavoring, honestly, it tastes like a melted down cotton candy. Like, I don't know how they get that sweetness in there without putting sugar in it. It doesn't make sense. Who knows? I guess don't question it because it'll make you lose your mind. But Rocks Glass, amazing. Pint Glass, it is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We do have a little beverage in there. Love these things. The pint glass, you know what I really love about a nice pint glass is the thickness of the glass. It's got to be, it's like you're holding, a chalice, I guess you could say. Got to be thick for it to be a very nice pint glass or beer glass, whatever you want to call it. I do enjoy it quite a bit. And I have an older iPhone. So if you have an older iPhone, you're in luck. This is the Snap case right here. I have the glossy version and I have the 12. So it goes all the way up to the 15 Plus. So last year's top of the line model, or the 15 Pro Max, excuse me. That's the top of the line. You can go ahead and check that out as well. Lots of great options there. Anyway, you can view that as your leisure. And if you're watching on Twitch and you've never been to the YouTube page, or you've never thought of it, or maybe you haven't heard of it before, you have a ton of content to consume. There's over 1,100 videos on the YouTube page. This channel started, and it's where it'll end. We upload all these streams that are live on Twitch up to the YouTube as quickly as humanly possible. There's one where I was trying to get it up actually Wednesday, but I couldn't. Blocked, or at least part of it was blocked. So I had to obstruct the video and whatnot. Unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate. But these things happen, right? It is what it is. That's why people, just a little inside baseball here, that's why people love streaming on Twitch, is because they do it after. They don't take you down immediately. Whereas, I did it for about 3 streams, 2.5, I guess. 2.5 streams on YouTube I live streamed. And on the last one, they took me down. They took the entire stream down. They said, yoink. I was like, all right, we're sticking to Twitch. They at least allow us to do this. Which is weird because I later uploaded that Twitch stream that I was dual streaming to Twitch and YouTube. I uploaded the Twitch stream and YouTube didn't block it. No idea why that works. Very strange. I don't question it because it just is what it is. But that's why I don't stream on YouTube, if you're wondering. So yeah, lots of great videos up there. Be sure and do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it greatly. It doesn't mean anything monetarily, but it is nice to see the number of subscribers go up. It lets me know that you're doing good things. We appreciate it. And it also lets the YouTube algorithm know that, hey, if there's a new video on this channel, I'm going to throw it up on the homepage. So, appreciate it. No problem, Rocco Kitty. It is what it is. It is what it is. What's up, Jackie? Welcome in. Welcome in. Anyway, yeah, check out the YouTube channel. If you're already there, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it greatly. Also, last but certainly not least, I need to bring it up real quick. Boom, it's the Discord. Discord, if you're unfamiliar, is a nice little online community through an app. Is kind of a weird way to phrase it, but I think that explains it. It's a nice little online community that is totally free. The link is everywhere. It's on the website, on the Twitch profile, it's on the YouTube profile, it's under every video on YouTube. If you're looking for a link, you'll find it. I guarantee it. Or if you can't, just throw a comment under the video and say, what's the link? I'll just reply to it. But yes, there's over 200 at this point. I'm not mistaken. I believe, 214 members currently in the Discord, which is awesome. Way larger than I thought it would ever be. Glad everyone's in there. Super nice, super welcoming community. If you've been in the YouTube comments at all, you realize, oh, this is kind of a nicer place than most, which is awesome. I am so happy about it. We seem to be attracting nice people, which is good. And hopefully that remains. This is the internet, so expect the unexpected, right? But it's been awesome. If you're a fan of anything, or you just want to hang out with people that, share the same passions or interests as you, it's a great place to be. If you don't see a channel that you're really into, like maybe you're super into, I don't know, something I've been watching a lot recently, 90 Day Fiance. Or like, I want a 90 Day Fiance channel. Literally, all you have to do is come over here to the requested channel and request it, and we'll make it for you. Literally that easy. And then you can find other people that are interested in things that you're interested in. Updates from me, that's any sort of news about the channel, basically. Just a way to like blast it at you so you know what's up. Keep you in the loop. Lots of great fandoms. As you can see here, I'll just kind of quickly scroll through it. You can check it out on your own. Community pages as well. And also, if you have any ideas for the Discord, I am open to them. I am very open to them. If you have any ideas on, maybe reorganizing it or new topics or anything like that, certainly let us know. I think I have don't I have a channel for that? Not really. Did. I guess I don't. But if you have an idea, just at me or at mods or whatever, just let me know. I'm open to any and all ideas. Nothing is a bad idea. But yeah, that is something that I've always been a big proponent of, feedback. So if you have any feedback or anything like that, let me know. Alrighty. So, something I've been watching a lot recently, as I literally just said. We're a friendly bunch in there, a little crazy but good. Indeed. Indeed. Definitely. As I've been watching a lot recently, 90 Day Fiance. I know I've probably talked about it before, but say it again just because, I don't know, the recent episodes that I watched just kind of blew my mind. This is probably the most real reality show I've ever seen. Like, the amount of situations that people get into in these relationships that are just, you look at it and you're like, there's no way this is scripted. Because, number one, that situation that just happened is super embarrassing. Maybe they signed up to do it, maybe they didn't, but I would never in a million years sign up to have that situation on national television or international television, honestly. It is very fascinating. And there's so many different varieties of the show. Like it was a hit, so they just blew it out and just did so many different seasons of before the 90 days and after the 90 days and, a show specifically about this couple, all that stuff. Crazy. Crazy. I literally just watched one. It is the original show, so it's 90 days. So in the US, you get what's called a K1 visa. And that gives you 90 days to fly over your love interest to the US, and you have to get married within the 90 days for them to stay. And if you don't get married within the 90 days, they have to go back to their country. Very interesting concept. Weird, but interesting. I don't know what else to describe it as. It's an interesting thing. Like, you wouldn't think about it, but in the days of the internet, it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something that probably came up too often unless you traveled abroad. If you're not traveling abroad, how would you contact these people before the internet? No idea. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. So it's definitely expanded, I would assume, in recent years. But one of them flew in, right? Drove to a friend's house, and I say house with quotes because it was not a house. It was a mansion. It was expansive, mega mansion, if you will. Huge. We're talking 20-foot ceilings, if not more, 30-foot ceilings, spiral staircases, dual spiral like just the most exuberant, oozing money you've ever seen in your life. Like, just the richest friend you could possibly have to pick up her dogs. Okay. They were away for a while, pick up the dogs, bring them home. So she brings home her fiance. I think at this point they're fiance. Engaged. And they pull up to a much smaller place, more normal place. So it's just a weird juxtaposition of showing like uber wealth and then normal. And if you're coming to America, I'm assuming you're looking at it like, wow, look at this. And then you're like, oh, like you're almost like, wait, what's real here? What is real? Because I'm assuming a lot of the influences Hollywood and stuff like that. So you're assuming everybody has money, basically. Um, so it's kind of a weird juxtaposition to see those two side by side. Even as an American, it's weird to see those two side by side. You're like, whoa. But he walks in to this new place he's going to live. Um, and the entire downstairs, the entire first floor is her business. Like we're talking like the kitchen, the bathroom, the family room or sitting room, whatever you call it, great room, all of that is covered in business. And I think she's a esthetician or something like that. Maybe she does lashes or something. I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. They didn't really go into detail. I'm just seeing like the equipment and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it looks like hair product and maybe some face stuff. I don't know. No idea. But he walks in and he's just immediately like, wait, what is this? A place of business? And then she said to him, reactions was just his facial reactions were amazing. She says, oh, this first floor is my business and we don't do anything down here. He was just like, what? He's looking at the kitchen and there's no other kitchen. Like that is the kitchen. And he goes, or she goes, oh, we don't cook down here or we don't cook at all. He goes, what? Not even breakfast? Like an egg or something? And she goes, no, 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 no. Because that'll stink up the place and it'll, it's not great for clients and whatnot. So he goes, you could just tell the wheels are turning in his head of like, I can't even cook like an egg in here. We have to buy everything pre-made. And she literally read his mind and was just like, oh, there's plenty of pre-made options. We can just go to a restaurant or whatever. And I'm just in my head, I'm like, that is so expensive to always buy pre-made food or restaurant food or something like that. Like that is a lot of money. I don't know if you've, done this number crunching or, budgeted or anything like that in your personal life. But when you start to look at the amount of like fast food or restaurant food or anything like that, it adds up like crazy. It is so pricey. Eat out every meal. Like the food budget must be just wild. Wild. And you could tell he's just rethinking this whole thing in his head like what have I done? It's such an interesting situation where you're watching it and you're just like, I'm so glad there's a camera running right now because I don't know if I would ever see a situation like this. Or, obviously this is a situation, but I never would have heard of this situation ever before in my life. I've seen it. It's just fascinating. It is truly fascinating to see these relationships and whatnot. And some of them are really great. Unfortunately, a lot of them are pretty bad. Um, but it's unbelievable. Trash. It's trash. I'll admit to it. It's trash. It's reality TV trash. But it is very fascinating. Very fascinating. I was watching a interview with a professional golfer who was just like, he was asked, what's a guilty pleasure of yours? And he goes, oh, 90 Day Fiance. I watch it all the time with my wife in bed. And then he started talking about it of like, oh, there's so many different shows and everything. I'm just like, wow, one of us, one of us, one of us. It was amazing. It was truly something. Anyway, so I've been really into that. I don't know why. I just have been for years at this point. It's just fascinating. Fascinating seeing people of different cultures come together, whether it's overseas, abroad, either way, basically. It's fascinating to see somebody's first interaction within a different country, a different part of the world. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Some of it's positive. Unfortunately, a lot of it's kind of negative as well. But if you're a big fan of, fights, love, cultural impressions, like it's really fascinating. Really fascinating. I highly recommend checking out at least one episode. See if you like it, see if it's interesting. Just start with like the first episode of a season or something like that and see if you're into it. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the first video. It is Formula One Drive to Survive, Season 7. This came out a month ago. It is the official trailer off of Netflix. I've definitely heard of this. I've heard of Drive to Survive just through this channel and educating myself. And shout out to the mods, by the way, Rocco, Kitty, Luke, and Jace for all the links and information they provide that we'll go through today. But it's definitely interesting. It's because when I was growing up, I was never into the F1, Formula One racing at all, or any racing, to be honest. But this is kind of a nice way to get a bunch of people into it, showing behind the scenes a little bit more of the drivers, some of the personalities, the relationships, one another, etc. Like it's making it more accessible, which maybe some of the older folks or older fans don't enjoy. They're like, oh gosh, what is this new influx of people coming into the sport? They don't know anything, whatever. But I kind of like it. I like it in the fact that it's expanding the amount of people that can have access to it, or honestly expanding the generations that are into it. Like the faster you get young generations into something, the better. Hockey's kind of going through that right now where they're trying to bolster the amount of fans and people going to the games and whatnot. So it's just kind of interesting that, they made this. Maybe do one for hockey as well, or some other sport. Just name it. Kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and jump into this and check it out. Season 7, Drive to Survive, official trailer. This is the 7th season. Wow. And this, I literally had not heard about this. Then again, I haven't watched Netflix in a while, but I literally had never heard of this show. What, like a year ago, maybe? I watched the first Formula One video or reacted to it. Very interesting. Go ahead and jump in.
How are you feeling?
This sport is tough.
You cannot underestimate the mental pressure.
You have all the eyes on you from the outside.
Nothing to see here.
We are the Kardashians of Formula One.
I look perfect.
Come on now.
Total unity.
Our biggest rival is ourselves.
I mean,
After 12 years together, Lewis tells me I'm going to Ferrari. Really?
Good for Lewis, good for his bank account.
If you don't perform, you're out. I control you every millimeter.
Norris trumps Verstappen!
I never thought I'd have a challenge like this in my career. Fuck.
We'll see if we can get him to crack.
Zach is a prick.
I'm fighting my ass off.
That's the most scared I've been in my life.
well, you're definitely getting a more unfiltered view.
Ruthless.
Some people rise to it. Some people don't.
You didn't ask me, how do you feel getting sacked?
How did you feel about
I couldn't give a
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is, it's an interesting thing because it's one of those sports that didn't really have this level of access that I was aware of. quite a few years ago, or not that long ago. So it's interesting to see like the inner workings and how I know there's I know there's like a code of things you don't say in the press or whatever. So this is kind of I don't know if any of them got in trouble for what they said on this, but it definitely seems like they're very open, saying whatever they want. Like some of that got whoa, whoa, maybe airing a little dirty laundry or something. But link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love, like I just did. And I'll throw it in the Twitch chat as well for those watching live. Interesting. Let's pull up some information on Formula One Drive to Survive. British television documentary series produced in collaboration with Netflix and Formula One give behind-the-scenes look at the drivers and races for the Formula One World Championship. The series has received 1 season per year since 2019. Total of 7 have been released. Latest March 7th, so it literally released just a couple weeks ago. So in 2018, literally a couple years ago, Formula One announced that Netflix had commissioned a 10-episode docuseries giving an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the 2018 World Championship. I wonder what finally got them to be okay with it. So it's 10 episodes per season. What else? Filming began in the 2020 season in March, but was suspended until July due to the pandemic. Yeah, that's not surprising. Terrible timing, though. Pretty bad. Oh, episodes each season. I'm assuming they're hour long, right? I think it set it up here. Oh, it's between half an hour and an hour. So I guess it depends. Maybe the series finales or the season finales are long, maybe. Very interesting. Reception. Here we go. Oh, yep. I see it in that second paragraph, but we'll start with the first. The show has received recognition for the additional insight it offers fans and is credited with attracting new audiences. There you go. Particularly American. There you go. To the sport, which is good. You know, you really want to force the audience to grow. Condescending. The condensing of season-long themes into single-episode narratives has drawn praise for adapting the natural drama of a racing season into a narrative that can encourage a fan to tune into the real thing. However, here we go. Something I mentioned. Drive to Survive has been criticized for including fake or misplaced commentary and team radios, staging certain scenes. Oh boy. Placing undue importance on test and practice sessions and over-dramatizing or misrepresenting certain events and relationships within the paddock. Oh boy. So they're really playing it up. So what they're saying is it's not interesting enough to just show it. We got to come up with a bunch of stuff. Make it into reality, basically, reality TV. That's not good. Supposed to be a documentary. That is not supposed to be reality TV. The continued criticism from both audiences and drivers led to discussions between Netflix and the team managers, between Formula One and the drivers. Max Verstappen notably refused to participate in interviews for season 3 and 4 as he believed that the show dramatized some drivers by portraying them as villains and that the show manufactured fake rivalries. However, Verstappen confirmed his participation in season 5 after reaching an agreement with the producers to, quote, keep it real. I like that. I like that fact. The guy who's constantly or consistently winning world championships is like, I'm out. Unless you stop doing this. That's great. That is great. Love to see that. Obviously, it would have a little less impact if somebody who wasn't winning a lot tried to do that same thing. So it's great that, somebody that is winning a lot was just like, I don't like this. You gotta, quote, keep it real, Nominated for a few things, won best sound. Looks like a bunch of sound victories. Sound mixing, sound editing. What's going on, Amos? What's going on, Luna? They tried to make it seem like him and Daniel were genuine enemies, despite the fact they get on great. That's ridiculous. Oh, gosh. That is so dirty. So dirty. Oh, they're pending for more sound mixing and sound editing. Spin-offs. In 2020, series similar to Drive to Survive was released on F1 TV based on the 2019 Formula 2 championship called Chasing the Dream. Okay. Interesting. Other motorsports series have jumped on the Drive to Survive train, with Formula E, NASCAR, and IndyCar all showing their own respective docuseries. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, honestly, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they do that from the jump? Like, this is just easy content. You have this season, you have personalities or people. People want to see more of them. Do like a series about them. Reality TV editing is cruel. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. There's horror stories of editing. In turn, there's some really nice episodes about drivers who've passed. So some things they do right. Yes. Some things are greatly misrepresented. Just an unfortunate reality. They always, they're looking for eyeballs. And what's the best way to get eyeballs? Conflict, right? Conflict sells. So it's not surprising they did it. I'm glad they got called out for it. That's great. Love to see that. Formula 1 Drive to Survive Season 7 just pulled up. Here's everything we know. We follow the best human stories, executive producers said, of what fans can expect in the latest season. Quote, we know that's what will resonate with the viewer in the best possible way and will pack a bigger. With unprecedented access to the paddock, Drive to Survive captures the drama, triumphs, and heartbreaks and make Formula One a global phenomenon. This time around, there are plenty of must-see moments that will remind you a good side-eye isn't just useful for checking your mirrors. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Who are the drivers in Season 7? Lando Norris, Oscar, Carlos, Charles, Max. So he's doing it. Sergio. I mean, honestly, though, if you couldn't get him, that would be terrible. Liam, George, Lewis, Kimmy, 18 years old. That's wild. Debut this season as a member of the Mercedes Junior team. Fernando, Vance, Esteban, Pierre, Jack. It's a lot of people. Nico, Kevin, Ollie, Yuki, Daniel. After fans thought they'd said goodbye to Daniel at the end of the 5th season, he made a comeback when given a chance in the Alpha Tauri seat midway through the 2023 season. In Series 7, the Australian returns alongside Yuki, fighting to regain his former place at the front grid. Interesting. Alex, Logan, Terry, Al. Dang, that is a lot. Number one, that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Oh my gosh. Why Netflix could change the way we watch for. Really? There could soon be more Formula One available on Netflix other than Drive to Survive. with the streaming giant reportedly considering a bid for live broadcasting. Okay, I'm going to be really honest here. I hate, despise, whatever word you want to use, the idea of a paid for streaming service hosting live sports. I hate it. I think it's stupid. Sports should be available to anyone with a broadcast, whether you have an antenna, whether you have just access to broadcast channels. I think it should be available to everybody. Number one, that's the best way to reach most people if you're an advertiser. And number two, I hate the idea of the fact that you have to buy all these different streaming services to be able to access stuff you want. That's not available to everybody else. So if you are just focused on Netflix, live broadcasting, Formula One races, maybe a world championship, the fact that you have to then sign up for Netflix to be able to watch it is ridiculous. So if they do host it, I wish they would make it available for free at Netflix.com. That would be cool. That would be okay. You can get some signups by, advertising Netflix and just like, you're already on the website, might as well check it out, kind of thing. But having it behind a paywall that nobody can access unless they have your specific streaming software, terrible. Terrible. News of Netflix's interest emerged last week on The Athletic and Autosport, with both outlets indicating the deal would involve only, oh my gosh, only the U.S. market for now. Oh, come on now. So now it's geographical. That's ridiculous. Oh. Timing of the reports was significant as they came approximately just a month before the latest installment, Drive to Survive. Now in its seventh season, the show has been pivotal in raising interest in Formula One in the U.S. According to figures published by Nielsen, it has been responsible for a 10% growth in Formula One's fan base in the U.S. since the show first launched. Pretty big. That's pretty big. Recent season focused a lot on Lando, which was cool. I personally like whenever the Oscar episodes, though. Kind of interesting how, I don't know how they pick who they're going to focus on. That's kind of, I guess that's up to who's more intriguing, I guess, at the time. Throughout the first 6 seasons of the show, live Formula One races in the U.S. have been broadcast on ESPN, which replaced NBC as a TV rights holder. Even then, ESPN is still, you got to have cable package. It's not broadcast television. NBC is great because you don't even need a TV package to see it. As long as you have some sort of connection to NBC, whether it's antenna or, I think it's just broadcast over digital connection. Like, you don't even need a sort of package to get it, which is fantastic. Even putting it on ESPN is a little rough. Company signed a 3-year extension with Formula One in 2022, meaning the broadcast rights will again be up for grabs at the end of the season. Audiences averaged just over 550,000 per race, so $500,000, when ESPN began broadcasting 7 years ago, but peaked at 1.2 million in 2022 before declining slightly, 1.1 in 2023. So obviously those are US numbers. Not big, certainly. Not bad. I wonder how that compares to like an NBA game. That I don't know. That'd be an interesting number to figure out. How Netflix's live broadcasting profile is growing. Actually, you know what? Let me look that up real quick. Be interesting. Okay, here we go. 2023, that's not exactly newish. Get one that's newer than 2020. Wish they had. Looking for like an easy chart to read. 2024. Professional sports. On. All right, we'll just look at 2023. Oh, these are the Nielsen numbers. Oh, there you go. Okay. Most watched U.S. sport league. That is exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. So the NFL averaged about 9.2 million viewers per game. MLB, a third of a million, 378,000. So Formula One's doing better than Major League Baseball. That's pretty big. That's pretty big for a sport that's considered an American pastime. That's huge. NBA, about 700,000. NHL, about 400,000. Wow, the NHL is doing better than Major League Baseball. That's interesting. Total viewing minutes. Then again, there's more games. Major League Soccer, 133,000. That is not a lot. Definitely not a lot. Total viewing minutes is good grief. Do we have Formula One on here? So Formula One, as we read, was 1.1, not mistaken. So it's less than the NFL, but it's more than anything else. Yeah, 1.1. I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that it's the second most watched sport. Well, give or take. Obviously, there's some games probably do very well for the NBA or the NBA, MLB, whatever. But on average, they're doing quite well. Dang, I didn't know it was that big. I had no idea it was that big in the U.S. The second most watched sport. Always wild that there are 2 U.S. races when F1 fans are usually European or Australian. True. That is a good point. That is a very good point. How Netflix's live broadcasting profile is growing. Last year, Netflix hired Kate Jackson, new director of sports. Jackson was ESPN's vice president of production. Well, there you go. Streaming platform paid $150 million to broadcast 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, setting a new record for an NFL game on streaming platform. Good grief, that's a lot of money for 2 games. 2 games, $150 million. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But I'm assuming they're going to have to pay more starting out because these, they're trying to beat out people that are established. They have good connections. I mean, I don't know who saw the, was it Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on Netflix? Just a buffering mess. Buffering mess. They cannot handle it yet. So to be trying for NFL games, I'm sure it was a mess. Average of 24.3 million viewers in the U.S. watched the Ravens beat the Texans, while 24 million tuned in to watch the Chiefs, Steelers. Put Netflix's splurge into context, ESPN paid $5 million a year to broadcast Formula One. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. What? Only $5 million a year. While the current 3-year deal is understood to be worth $90 million in total. Oh my gosh. They had to shell out so much. I'm sure it's because the NFL was just like, they're desperate. They'll pay anything. Let's just take them for all they're worth. Significantly, Formula One's owner, Liberty Media, offered the broadcasting rights free of charge in 2018 as part of its drive to increase the series profile in the US. That's crazy. I mean, it worked, I guess. So if it works, is it crazy? Maybe. Netflix, of course, is not the only streaming giant to have dipped into the live sports market. Amazon first broadcast 10 NFL games on its Prime Video platform. Yeah, I've seen some NFL games on Prime. It went well. Like, they didn't have any issues that were glaring. Held exclusive broadcasting rights to Thursday Night Football, that's NFL, since 2023 in a 10-year deal worth $1 billion. Yeah. Amazon's got it. They've got the broad, the, what am I looking for? What's the word? What's the technical word? They have the broadband, the bandwidth. There we go. They have the bandwidth to do it. And they've done it well. Amazon also broadcast the UEFA Champions League in Britain, or broadcast 2 complete rounds of matches for the past 6 years. Apple TV Plus signed a 7-year deal, broadcast MLB games in 2022, same year in which it began broadcasting MLS games. Netflix's Formula One deal would have impact beyond the U.S. Let's see. Global TV rights accounted for $1 billion of Formula One's $3.2 revenue in 2023. Under the current format, offers the rights to individual broadcasters in each country. Broadcasters would receive the live feed, but would be responsible for the programming. In simple terms, that means the TV networks would provide their own commentary teams and analysis. Downside of the arrangement is that it can also lead to exclusivity in countries where a broadcaster outbids its rivals. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's always been that way. Put in bids and whoever gives the most money gets it. Sky's European offshoots in Germany and Italy also have exclusivity rights in the 2 countries until 2027. The exclusive rights mean Formula One's over-the-top streaming platform, F1 TV Pro, is not available in Britain, Germany, or Italy. Wow. Platform, however, is available in the US and allows viewers to choose the way they follow races. Crucially, it offers unedited radio conversation between the drivers and the teams, which is pretty sweet, which became a point of contention last season. That is kind of wild. That is a little strange. You would think that would not be good if it's live. I mean, the weirdness of that is obviously the fact that you have to, if you're a driver, you have to watch what you say because it's going to be released. That is interesting. That is the last thing, absolute last thing you want to focus on when you're driving at however fast you're going is, oh, I shouldn't say that because that's going to be released soon. Maybe I shouldn't say that about the driver in front of me that cut me off. Oh, gosh. That's an interesting predicament. Again, I think the fact that they would hide broadcasts of Formula One races, if they're important, if they're mid-season races, whatever, behind these individualized streaming platforms. Instead of not to shill or advertise, but YouTube TV is set up very much like cable television. There's local channels and live channels, just like you would with, a cable broadcaster. And it allows you to also sign up for some of the premium channels and whatnot. HBO, I guess it's Max or whatever now. So it allows you to at least have kind of like that same feeling to it. You still get the local channel, NBC and whatnot in the US. But to go specifically for Prime Video or specifically for Netflix, specifically for, I don't know, Peacock or whatever, Hulu or something, just seems a little weird. It seems a little, yeah, you're opening it to a pretty decent size audience, but you're also excluding it from everybody. Basically, if it's just on a broadcast, station, literally everybody can watch. So my idea for Netflix would be, if you do get the rights to Formula One races, make it available for free. You don't even have to sign up. Just go to netflix.com or the app or something like that, and you can watch it for free. Mirror it on the TV, whatever. That way you get people to your website. They might sign up. You can advertise the heck out of it. But it's still available for people to watch, get into the sport, stuff like that. So even if they're not a member or paying whatever, they can at least still see it. I think that's a good idea, or a good solution, compromise to an individual streamer. Just, it's ours. And you got to be part of us or you're not getting it. Just kind of an interesting take on that. Is it a hot take? I don't think it's a hot take. But it's a little disappointing, I'll say that. Anyway, Drive to Survive Season 7 launched a couple weeks ago. I'm sure it's fascinating. Really sure it's fascinating. Just, it's interesting that they're slowly opening up the sport to everybody and whatnot. It's pretty cool. What's up, Farah? Is there any Deo Off-Road reactions soon? I don't know off the top of my head. I do not know. Then again, I haven't set up the schedule for April. I'm not exactly sure. We're doing that this weekend, actually. So you'll learn soon enough, I guess. But I don't have any information off the top of my head to be able to provide that for you right now. My apologies. Let's jump into the next one. It is Elizabeth and Henry. I'll Be Your Home. This is from Madam Secretary. I've reacted to one, maybe two Madam Secretary videos. Interesting show. I don't think it lasted very long, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a season or two. There's kind of a concept that, I don't know. I didn't hear much about it. I didn't see a lot of advertising. It just kind of came and went, weirdly. Can't see them putting the live stream version on a free platform, but they should upload at least a few times a week after the fact. Yeah, that probably makes the most sense, I guess. It's unfortunate. You would hope that they would. You would hope that they would. But I don't know. I guess it's just another way to, like, you know, collect them like Pokemon. Like, oh, if you want to see it, guess what? $7.99 for the ad. What is it? The ad supported. I think they raised the prices again, not that long ago. But the ad supported version. It's just like, I guess. All right, let's jump into it. Madam Secretary Elizabeth and Henry. I'll Be Your Home.
Yeah.
You got this. Seriously, don't worry.
I believe you.
You've been searching your whole life for what's been right.
I don't know how to say this.
I
love you, so don't die on me, okay?
Like the sea, a restless heart. When will you be?
I will always show up for you. Always.
If you're tired of fighting on your own.
If you're asking me to be the man beside the woman,
If you're tired
I'm in.
of feeling all alone, I'll be your home.
I kind of love you.
I'll be your home. I wish you could see you through my eyes. You feel yellow, orange open skies. You've been running to me.
Here's a promise.
let go. So if you're tired of fighting on your own,
You have God on your side.
if you're tired
Got you.
of feeling all alone, I'll be your home. I'll be your home.
When you're in such a public facing job or position like that, it would be quite just be such a grind the day to day, you know, you have to be available at like all times a day, especially if you're in like a high position in politics or something like that. You have to be available always to like answer for stuff you didn't do, stuff you had no idea about, that you should know about, or maybe you're learning about it just now. You have to comment on it. Honestly, it is a thankless job. Like, you do get paid for it, and some people do make a decent amount of money over it. But it's a lot. It's a lot. You go through a lot of criticism. Your family goes through it. You know, they try to pull dirt out from under you, and skeletons in your closet is the saying or whatever. Like it's dealing with a lot. So to have that level of support in your corner from a spouse or friend or family or kids or whatever would probably mean quite a good deal.
I'll be your home. I'll be your
You would defend her if she were standing over a bloody corpse with a knife.
It's also the greatest journey you'll ever go on. And you get to go on it with your best friend.
Put on her glasses. Oh my gosh. We go ahead and throw that some love. That was a great edit. Song went well with it. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love. Also check out their channel as well. They might have other videos that might interest you. Go ahead and throw that link in the Twitch chat for all those watching live. Excellent. Like I was saying, a lot of pressure. I've never experienced that level of pressure. I would never want to experience that level of pressure. It's a lot. A lot of drama, backstabbing, all that stuff. Sure, you're well aware of it. Politics is as they say, it's a dirty game. Let's pull up some information on Elizabeth and Henry. Figure out more of what's going on here, what the show's about. Elizabeth McCord. I've never met a situation where I don't have a choice in the matter. That's fair. I mean, certainly some things can happen to you, but you always have a choice on how you react to it. Elizabeth McCord is an American politician, professor, former CIA analyst who became the U.S. Secretary of State under the administration of the 46th President, Conrad Dalton. Later, the first female president of the U.S. in 2020, known for her sharp intellect and ethical leadership, portrayed by Tia Leone. Who I absolutely loved, by the way, in Fun with Dick and Jane. Great movie with Jim Carrey. It's definitely worth a watch. Born and raised in Virginia, she and her brother Will were orphaned in 1983 after a car crash claimed their parents' lives. That's attended a boarding school. Oh, so they got money. They got money. Gotcha. One of her classmates, Crown Prince of Bahrain. I mean, good Lord. Whoa. Part of that level. Part of that level. Graduated from University of Virginia, met her husband, Henry. Couple married in 90, have 3 children, fluent in French, German, Arabic, Farsi, and conversational Spanish. Mm. I don't want to go too deep into the political aspect of it, channel's about, but I do want to at least figure out who these people are and what the show's about. Everything seems to be lacking in integrity. You know what you do? You find it in yourself. This is Henry talking to Elizabeth. You change the world right from where you're standing. Retired U.S. Marine Corps captain, ethics professor, theologian, and first gentleman of the U.S. Obviously, they met in college, as we just read. Gulf War veteran. Son of a steel worker. Attended U of V, excuse me. College sweethearts, wow. Wonder how often that happens, college sweethearts, as opposed to high school sweethearts, which is probably even more rare. Flew F-18 Hornets during Desert Storm. Only married once. Six seasons. Elizabeth McCord has one of the best TV marriages. Been married 25 plus years to her husband since her early 20s. Marriage, for all the strains and stresses of their professional lives, as I was talking about earlier, still healthy. They still flirt with each other and still love each other very much. Even though both help create the events that make the news every day, they vow not to talk about work at home. That's the big thing. Oh my gosh, that's a big thing. I guess there's a difference in asking someone how their day went, saying, oh, it was fine, this kind of thing happened, and, other than that, not bad. Like, there's a difference in that. Like, you do have to ask somebody, like, how was your day? But, bringing it home, discussing it constantly, that there's a fine line between wanting input, getting some support when you need it, and then just bringing home your entire workday to unload it on your spouse. There's definitely a fine line there. And it is smart to have that work-home life balance. In TV terms, they're an exemplar of a power. Somebody said, I agree. I love how there's no superiority complex between the two. They are on lockstep with each other when it comes to giving the kids the hammer. Amazing. I've noticed that they will disagree on what to do about a specific kid in private, but never in front of the kid. I don't know if it's been said in the sub at all, but when Bess was in CIA, Henry was the sole parent for the bulk of the time. Then again, so was Bess when he was away as well. Love how the show doesn't go into the whole, Henry is an incompetent husband, and doesn't know how to feed the kids trope that's quite often seen on television. More that Bess can't cook, which is how they subverted that trope. Basically, they're equal partners in the marriage, and it shows. I also like that it doesn't pretend that everything was hunky-dory either. They had rough spots, made sacrifices. Bess left the CIA to save their marriage, and it did. Henry has willingly been her backup now that she has risen up in government. They became a couple in real life. Excuse me? What? They did? I adore that their relationship has healthy communication. They generally love each other. Made me realize how rare it is to see that depicted on TV, sadly. Yeah, I would say that's probably fairly accurate. I mean, most of the couples I see on TV are comedy-based, and they always, rib each other and, like, make jokes at each other's expense and stuff like that. but they usually find their way around to the love part as well. Maybe it's just because I choose comedy shows. I kind of see that. I also love how they go into couples counseling, and it's shown as a positive thing. Even the best couples can have issues, and counseling isn't the first step to divorce. The way to find healthy boundaries again. I love that even when things were not working out for them, they both tried their hardest to communicate. I'm not holding out on a hot fighter pilot religious scholar, but if my future marriage doesn't have their dynamic, then I don't want it. Very specific tastes. They got married in real life in 2014. Are you serious? The same year the show came out. So they either met on set or decided together to audition. Whoa. Really? Hmm. I always find myself annoyed at the lack of portrayal of healthy, strong marriages and partnerships on TV, as it's generally the ups and downs, hot and cold tropes that sell. That's true. As I said earlier, conflict sells. It gets eyeballs. But man, am I so elated at this beautiful family portrayed on the show. They have their marriage with the communication, the support, the love, the way they tackle partnership. I love how they show their hardships and disagreements, but all within a foundation of goodness. That's a big one. Breath of fresh air, and I enjoyed the balance of professionalism they embodied in their jobs versus the softness and joy their home life was. That is extremely important. I wish they would write more characters and storylines like this. It's important to show strong female characters in professional arenas, as it is to show a healthy standard of relationship, partnership, marriages for both men and women. Again, conflict sells. It just is what it is. They're trying to get eyeballs by any means necessary. You're wondering why every pilot episode has some form of nudity or intimacy or like craziness. They're trying to capture an audience. And with the amount of choices we have today, it is very difficult to capture an audience. So they just keep pushing it up and up. So it is nice to see at least this. A supportive and healthy relationship. Of course, everybody has their ups and downs, as do they. But it is nice to see, that level of support that's needed, or, that's usually instilled within healthy relationships in this. Very nice. That's very nice to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Unfortunately, yeah, that probably isn't the norm. The norm is usually, I don't know if you've ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond, but boy, that was an interesting marriage. Obviously, they were there for each other, but boy, was it rough at a lot of moments. The amount of like sniping and snarky, backhanded comments and whatnot. Oh, watching it back at this point is like, ooh, boy. Like, at least the show, I don't know if you've seen it, Married with Children. The whole thing was built on like this toxic back and forth between, mostly coming from Al Bundy to his wife. But it was obviously meant to be funny. But if you're watching at, for any sort of realism, you're just like, oh, this is, they need to get divorced like immediately. Good. Like they are not having a good time. It's not enjoyable at all. Like the kids can see it even. Like, oh. But it is a funny show. I will say that. It is very funny in its own way. But looking at it from a realistic point of view, when you let go of the comedy and whatnot, it's rough. It's really rough. Oh my gosh. All right, let's hop into the next one. This is, they kissed how many times? Xena and Gabrielle's gayest moments, parts 1 through 4. We're going to split this into 2. We're going to do half of it. We're going to do a little bit of information. So technically it's one video, but it is a bit of a longer video, so we're going to do it in 2 parts. Ready. I'm not sure how to set this one up. So we're just going to jump into it. Or, you know what? I can just preview it. All right. That's good. We should be fine. We should be okay. All right. Go ahead and pull it up. Jump in, shall we?
Let's be clear, Xena the show is gay. Very gay. It's basically gay from start to end, and it only gets gayer as the seasons go on. But there are some standout moments that I think deserve being called out. From the light-hearted moments to the dramatic and sexy, here is my list of Xena and Gabrielle's gayest moments. I'd love to...
By the way, it's kind of funny that, you know, looking back on this as a child when this was on, I don't even know if I saw it when it was on. Maybe I saw like reruns of it. That used to be a thing. When I saw reruns of it, I feel like I'm talking about a VHS or VCR or whatever. I never put it together because it just, I don't know. I was very young. I never put this together. Like whatever the writers were trying to do on like negating it for the studio or the network, whoever had the issue with it, like it completely worked with me. But then again, I was like, I don't know, 8.
Love to hear what your personal top picks are in the comments.
Is Xena all you think about?
Oh, you know what? I should probably move it so you can see the text here. Otherwise, I'm completely blocking it. Or I guess you know what? I'll just move myself. How about that? I'll just move myself so we don't have to have it in that tiny little box. All right. Yoink. There we go. I'm over here now. Never know where I am.
Xena is my family. She's the most important thing in my life. Xena and I have a connection. It's stronger than either one of us. We're soulmates. We didn't make it that way. It just is.
I can see your heart lies with Xena, but I'll prove to you which one of us deserves your love.
Whoa.
Let's start strong with the gay trilogy of the Rheingold, which is all about true love and the fact that Xena and Gabrielle are soulmates. When Xena runs off to the land of Norse to make right or wrong from long ago, fully expecting to die, Gabrielle naturally follows her. And on that journey, she meets a young Valkyrie, Brunhilde, who falls in love with her. In an attempt to protect Gabrielle from Odin, the Norse god, and to prove her love, Brunhilde turns herself into an eternal flame, which puts Gabrielle into a deep sleep, a sleeping beauty sleep, if you will. Meanwhile, Xena, working to undo her past mistakes, loses what she holds most dear, which is her memory of Gabrielle and the woman that Gabrielle helped her become. A year later, still without her memory, she is discovered by Beowulf, a friend, and he takes her back to the eternal flame in Gabrielle because as her soulmate, she is the only one who can cross the flame. She does that. And how does one awaken their soulmate? Why? With a kiss, of course. But this is by no means the only kiss that we get in the show. There is also the marriage kiss, where Gabrielle weds Perdiccas for...
My question is, what did the studio or the network think about that? Like, obviously, they had to change things around and had to, like, you know, make it less obvious. But how did they get away with that one? I guess they were just like, look, we already wrote it. We already wrote it. How else are we going to wake her up?
For plot reasons, and Xena kisses her gal pal as a wedding gift, as you do, and then looks like she's positively destroyed by Gabrielle leaving her.
I can't lose you again.
Gabrielle will always be here.
There is also the infamous quest kiss, where Xena dies, possesses Autolycus's body, and then decides that the best way to show Gabrielle that her soul is still with her is to go in for a kiss, much to Autolycus's surprise and mine. My baby gay brain exploded. And finally, the kiss of life in the finale of Friend in Need Part 2, where Xena is almost dead on Mount Fuji. Gabrielle reaches the fountain of life, and having no other way to get the water from there to Xena, holds the water in her mouth. And obviously, that requires tender lip-to-lip contact to then pass the water from her mouth to Xena's. Speaking of a friend in...
How was this ever a question? How? How was this ever... What? I didn't even know that scene existed until right now. Like, what? How is that ever a question?
Need, while it was an atrocious
That's
ending to the
hilarious.
series, it also gave us one of the shippiest declarations of the show.
If I only had
He
30
just baby
seconds to
birded
live
water to her.
This is how I'd want to live them. Looking into your eyes.
Oh my
There is
gosh.
so little room for this to be interpreted as platonic that you'd need to do a 100-point turn in order to maneuver yourself out of this one. And why would you?
I wish I'd known you were looking for a father.
I'm not.
Oh? Well, somebody clearly got the job.
Yeah, Gabrielle.
I would have paid to see that.
When Xena gets pregnant, it's not clear how or who the father is. But on
I
a show
would've
like Xena,
paid
the
to
answer
see.
is not the obvious, it's the miraculous. Because she is pregnant by immaculate conception with the daughter who has the soul of her greatest enemy, Callisto, because Xena and Gabrielle were crucified and went to heaven, but also to hell, where
Oh my
Xena
gosh, what a
redeemed Callisto's
storyline.
soul, because the reason Callisto was evil was because Xena destroyed her village and killed her family and friends back when she was a warlord. But that's all beside the point, because what matters is who's going to co-parent that child, and well, obviously it's Gabrielle. And she looks rather smug about it.
You and I have much in common.
Of course we do. You're a mortal female with a lying tongue, savage tendencies, and a blonde girlfriend.
If you want to seduce the fallen angel Lucifer to the dark side so he can take the throne in hell as the devil, then what better way to do that than to have a sexy dance with your girlfriend while dressed in skin-tight leather? I mean, that's what I would do if I wanted to save the world from unutterable darkness. When Gabrielle ends up on the menu of the friendly local cannibals and ends up in a raging river, Xena jumps in to save her, and as hypothermia begins to take over and Gabrielle thinks she might just die, she has a very specific request.
I don't want to be buried with the Amazons. I want to lie with you, with your family. What about your family? I love them, but I'm a part of you. I want it to be like that forever. I love you.
Because, of course, why wouldn't you want to be buried next to your soulmate?
Do you really
Wow,
believe
that was
kind of
heavy.
love exists?
That was heavy.
It's what we all dream about, isn't it? Someone would look so deeply into our soul that they'd find something worth dying for.
I couldn't actually pick a gayest moment from this episode.
This is the most erotic. Obviously, these are handpicked, right? Scenes. But this is some of the most erotic scenes I've ever seen in a broadcast television show. That's that old? That's from like the 90s? Oh my gosh.
Episode because the whole thing is so gay in an already gay show. Is it the moment their eyes meet and Gabrielle has a moment? Is it when Xena shrinks into the shadows of her own balcony because seeing Gabrielle overwhelms her senses? Is it how Caesar already knows that he's lost Xena and jealously tries to get rid of Gabrielle? Or perhaps it's Gabrielle declaring,
My life is empty, despite my success. I write about love, but I've never felt it before.
or is it this moment?
When I'm with you, this emptiness that I have felt my entire life is gone. Some things are worth dying for. Isn't that what your play was about? Being prepared to sacrifice all for love. For love. I'll love you forever. Don't touch her.
Or maybe it's Gabrielle going to the fate's tapestry of time and destroying it because a world without Xena was not a world worth living. I mean, you choose. It's an embarrassment of riches. I couldn't finish out this list without mentioning the poem. With the sun setting over the ocean,
just had a
with the
realization.
satisfaction of an adventure done, Xena gives Gabrielle a poem written by...
This is about as bro as the bromance that Domundi did. The quote-unquote bromance genre, where it's basically BL minus the kissing, but this had kissing. So it's literally a GL. Let's be honest.
by Sappho of Lesbos to express how she feels, because who better to put into words the love she has for her warrior bard.
There's a moment when I look
It's
at
amazing
you,
they had an issue with this.
and no speech is left in me.
Yet,
My tongue breaks.
other than just,
then fire races under my skin.
they don't come out and say it, but they do say it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, my brain is breaking right now. Because they're like, oh, you can't do that on broadcast television or whatever back in the 90s. And they're like, all right, here's this. How did they not, how did I not realize they were saying it and doing it anyway? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
My skin and I tremble.
Pretty amazing.
And grow
I don't know
pale,
how
for
they
I'm
pulled off
dying
the
of such
magic
love.
of like,
Or so it seems to me.
this is not a GL.
I almost got you that time.
No, you didn't.
What are you talking
Jedi
about?
mind trick or
I
something.
was this close. You were this close because I let you get this close.
Much like When Fates Collide, which made it onto part 1, this is one where it's hard to pick a single moment. This episode is rightly beloved by the Woman Love Woman community. It's dripping with the kind of subtext that got the queer ladies talking in the first place. It's domestic fluff with a great wallop of gay subtext, starting with
Xena, this was our only frying pan. Why do you do that? You do have weapons, don't you?
I like to be creative in a fight. It gets my juices going.
Can we cook with your juices?
Then there's this rather telling moment.
Does Xena ever think about settling down and getting married?
No, she likes what I do.
And of course, the bathtub scene.
Are you sitting on the soap?
I was wondering what that was.
It's also peppered with the bickering married vibes, Gabrielle's hand on Xena's breastplate, and, at the end of a hard day, them lying on a blanket together and stargazing. Yep, married vibes for sure. Although I do have a theory on when they get together, and I may just make a vid on that in the future, so I don't know, stay tuned. Then there is fan favourite Minya, who seems to be crushing on Xena.
You're Xena, aren't you?
Yes.
You are the main thing, the real deal, you know, the #1 attraction.
And total spoiler,
Thank you. I never would have met Paulina if it wasn't for you. In fact, the two of you made me realize something deep down about myself that I guess I always knew, but just didn't dare admit. I'm a lesbian.
mm-hmm.
I was happy
Oh
when I was a
my
kid,
gosh.
because I was loved and I felt like I belonged. I was lucky then and I'm lucky now.
Another episode that leans into the domestic fluff vibe was the Old Aries Had a Farm episode, which gives us a glimpse into what it might have looked like if Xena and Gabrielle had settled down somewhere. While for sure it was a throuple situation with Aries in the picture, I think even he knew he stood no chance with Xena, especially with this moment when Gabrielle helps Xena into her armor.
Suck it in.
It just screams married wives, because you know that Gabs has helped her woman get dressed a lot, and undressed too, naturally. I'm just saying she has an intimate knowledge of Xena's clothes. Also, look at how they're looking at each other here.
This karma that you're talking about, can you see mine? Can you see how much Xena's a part of that?
In many lives, past and future.
Xena is the only person for Gabrielle, as we find out later in the show. When they are both looking for their paths in life in Season 4, they head to India on a spiritual quest. What they find is that the shamaness Ulti is trying to mess with one of their future lives, so they're off to defeat her. What emerges from this encounter is that Gabrielle and Xena are destined to be together again and again, karmically linked. Is that gay? Or is it gay? Maybe they're not always in female bodies in each incarnation, but they are the literal incarnation of this story that Gabrielle spoke of in Season 1.
Once a long, long time ago, all people had 4 legs and 2 heads. And then the gods threw down thunderbolts and split everyone into 2. Each half then had 2 legs and 1 head. But the separation left both sides with a desperate yearning to be reunited. Because they each shared the same soul. And ever since then, all people spend their lives searching for the other half of their soul.
Maybe she just needs air.
Beautifully put.
Come on, breathe! Come on. Wake up and breathe. You never ran from anything in your whole life. Don't you leave me! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!
It's like inadvertent CPR.
It for sure was a pivotal moment in the Xena and Gabrielle relationship. With this episode, we get to see just how much Gabrielle has come to mean to Xena. I don't think even Xena realized how deeply she felt for her until this moment. It marked something of a transition for the character of Gabrielle. In that first season, she was framed as young and sometimes referenced as being that annoying blonde following Xena around. She was often the comic relief.
Very much like The Witcher Netflix show. The bard following around.
But here she became someone with far more weight. She became
Henry
someone
Cavill.
Xena couldn't do without. Leading up to that moment at the end of season 1, Gabrielle had been giving off some baby gay vibes for sure.
I won't stay home. I don't belong there, Xena. I'm not the little girl that my parents wanted me to be.
That alone is a sentiment that the queer community often connects with, as well as the desire to leave behind the restrictive communities we've grown up in that often don't accept us. Gabrielle then becomes positively starstruck at the, I assume, first non-conventional woman to come along because she's different. When you add it to moments like,
It's not like your breasts aren't dangerous enough.
and
What is it?
You are beautiful.
it sure feels like a wee queer narrative is expressing itself here. Also, I'm very curious to understand what this moment means, because, it's suggestive, especially when combined with the activity of catching fish, which, euphemism.
Come on, Gabrielle, let's get wet!
Speaking of fish, in the episode Fin, Femmes and Gems, there are a few fishy references. You know the writers were having so much fun with the fish references.
You stick your hand under
Colby.
the water and you feel around till you find a great big succulent fish. And then you do this. You wiggle your fingers.
Why would I want to do that?
Because it's fun.
Right.
Well, don't knock it till you've tried it.
To fist a fish? I can barely say it, much less do it.
But that is not the gay moment that stands out for me in this episode. Rather, it's this.
I looked into your eyes, and Xena, I finally realized there can only be one person for me in my life. Me.
Even through Xena's obsessive fishing-induced haze, she still loves Gabrielle so much that this declaration has her looking positively crestfallen that Gabrielle doesn't say that Xena is the only person for her. Because Xena really is the only one for Gabrielle. After much spiritual seeking, after trying the way of peace that saw her put down her weapon and dedicate herself to pacifism, she is forced to choose between that and her relationship with Xena. The decision is instantaneous. The way of peace is nothing if she is not by Xena's side.
I made you leave the way of love.
I had a choice. To do nothing or save my friend. I chose
We all have choices.
friendship.
Go ahead and pause right there. About half. And we'll watch the rest after a little bit of information. All right, let's pull up some information really quick. Dive back in. Oh, I have to move myself. Yoink. There we go. All right. Influence on the lesbian community. Xena has enjoyed a particular cult status. I don't know why I couldn't read there for a second. In the lesbian community, some of the lesbian fan base sees Xena and Gabrielle as a couple and has embraced... Come on now. They are a couple. After what we just saw, and not even all of it, maybe just a couple scenes, we can pretty much confirm that. Embrace them as role models and lesbian icons. A group called the Marching Xenas has participated in many gay and lesbian pride parades. Sure, that's interesting. You get to dress up in awesome warrior outfit. Subject of much interest and debate among viewers is the question of whether Xena and Gabrielle are lovers. After watching just a little bit of that, I think it's not much of a discussion or debate. There's no debate as far as I'm concerned. Like, how do you watch that and not go, "Oh yeah, 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 they're together." hmm With a much more adult and mature mind, I can see it. With a child mind of watching this way back when, completely, right over my head, had no idea. Um, the issue is left deliberately ambiguous. It's not. Let's be honest. It's about as ambiguous as that romance genre of BLs. Oh no, it's not a BL. It's a bromance, and then you watch it, and it's like the most heart on your sleeve. They're doing everything but making out. It's just like, all right. And even then, they do have some kiss scenes in here. So you're like, oh, so it's not that. It's not, not a galmance. Really just a GL. Jokes, innuendo, and other subtle, I would say obvious, evidence of a romantic relationship between Xena and Gabrielle is referred to as lesbian subtext, or simply subtext. By fans, the issue of the true nature of the Xena Gabrielle relationship caused intense shipping debates in the fandom, which turned especially impassioned due to spillover from real life debates about same sex sexuality and gay rights. Many fans felt that the sexual nature of Xena and Gabrielle's relationship was cemented by an interview given by Lucy Lawless to Lesbian News magazine in 2003. Good God, it's been 20. Oh my gosh, it's been 22 years. Oh, math. Don't do math. Lawless stated that after the series finale, where Gabrielle revived Xena with a mouth-to-mouth water transfer, yeah, water transfer, was filmed to look like a full kiss. She had come to believe that Xena and Gabrielle's relationship was definitely gay. There was always a, well, she might be or she might not be. But when there was that drip of water passing between their lips in the very final scene, that cemented it for me. I mean, come on. Lucy, there was more signs than that. No, it wasn't just Xena was bisexual and kind of liked her gal pal, and they kind of fooled around sometimes. It was, nope, they're married. They're married, man. Xena fandom also popularized the term altfic, from alternative fiction, to refer to same-sex romantic fan fiction. Many fans felt the term slash fiction carried the connotation of being about male-male couples only, and was not a good description of romantic fan fiction about Xena and Gabrielle. Well, I do like the term slash in relation to Xena because she literally used a sword. So it kind of works. Kind of interesting, I guess. Or slice fiction. Slice and dice. All right. Let's go ahead and do we want to watch that? About a minute. Yeah, we'll do it. This is Lucy Lawless. Didn't realize Xena was a feminist lesbian icon. It was a People TV Entertainment Weekly interview posted 5 years ago.
Oh, hello, Xena. Okay, we've got to talk about that battle cry.
Well, it was kind of like the guy who would later become my husband said, she needs a signature call like Tarzan had one. We need one for Xena. And I was looking at the TV and there were these Arabic women at a funeral and they were protesting the death of some kid in the community and they were ululating, doing that cry that Arabic women do. And I tried to do it and I couldn't, so I just twisted it to do my own version of it and out came the Xena thing.
Can you teach me to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Say. Now do it. Get louder and louder. Yeah, there you go. In the back of the car when the kids are driving you crazy, you pull that one out, it's over. You win.
I know that this initially wasn't intended, but this character became a lesbian icon, which was...
I actually think it was intended by the writers and producers. They knew what they were doing.
Oh, really?
It's just we didn't know. And
yeah, they've said as much.
Requisite that we understand that dynamic. And
when did you catch on?
Like episode 8, I think we were filming, and the Village Voice did an article, Michael Musto, about this new feminist lesbian icon, and we were like, you're so crazy, you know. And then it's like, okay, that's cool, that's new, that's, you know, where it's at. And that community really made the show hip and a success. So I've always been very grateful and feel a great loyalty to them.
Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. I think we've read, I know we've read interviews with the writers and whatnot, showrunners, that they absolutely wanted to make that, but they just couldn't. I think it was if I remember correctly, it was the network or something like that that was just like, no, you gotta change this up. But looking at some of those scenes, like they were able to get away, quote unquote, get away with a decent amount. Like it's pretty obvious, even just from watching this, that it was intended to be that. Obviously, a lot of it's left up to interpretation, but there's some scenes that we just saw that honestly, I don't think it's even up for interpretation. Like it's pretty obvious. Maybe they thought people were just clueless back then or something, but it seems like whoever was vehemently against it missed a lot. So it's just kind of funny. They were trying to, hide it or whatever, and it really wasn't hidden. Kind of interesting. Oh, the 90s. Let's go ahead and jump back into this and continue on.
A long time ago, I accepted the consequences of our life together. That it might one day come to this. You always said that I was the brave one. Look at you now. This is to be our destiny. Let's see it out together. Even in death, Gabrielle. I will never leave you.
This fan-favourite episode offered a rare opportunity for us to see Xena and Gabrielle in this quiet, character-driven two-hander episode. Gabrielle is wounded with a poison arrow, but with the Persian army advancing on Athens and with Xena the only thing standing in the way, we see her struggle with putting the needs of the many before the need to find an antidote to save Gabrielle.
The first thing is the greater good. You taught me that. You taught me that there are things in life worth dying for. Things that hold a higher meaning than our own existence. Not your existence.
That's such a classic trope. Oh my gosh. That age-old question. If you could save 1 million people, or you could save someone that you love or close to, who would you save? So classic.
Existence. Why? Because I'm your friend?
Such a conundrum,
it
too.
Offers a number of poignant moments between our gals, which reinforces the strength of their bond.
Obviously, the right answer is 1 million, but
Gabrielle.
It's gonna hurt.
When I reach down inside myself and do things that I'm not capable of, it's because of you. Don't you know that by now?
None is, in my opinion, more poignant, however, than this quiet moment when, awoken from a bad dream, Gabrielle lays back and touches Xena's hair with such reverence. The theme of the greater good crops up throughout the show. While in One Against an Army, Xena, with Gabrielle's insistence, reluctantly chooses the greater good. When Gabrielle is to be killed for the manslaughter of an innocent, she doesn't, because, well, they've long established that their souls are entwined back in Season 4. By Season 6, it's abundantly clear to her that Gabrielle is essential in her life and that she will do anything to keep Gabrielle safe. Consequences be damned.
You saved me today, Xena, against the greater good.
Gabrielle, in everyone's life, there's something that goes beyond the greater good. That's what you are in my life.
Nowhere is this more painfully obvious when, in the Season 3 finale, Gabrielle falls into a lava pit with her evil demigod daughter Hope to save Xena from being killed. The Xena we see in Gabrielle's absence is lost.
I'm entering a world of darkness I promised myself I'd never return to.
Oh boy.
But it's the only way I can see you again. My mind has lost its center.
Her grief is all-encompassing. It's the grief of a woman who has lost her soulmate, and so the only thing she can do to keep herself tethered to reality, to keep herself going, is to search for Gabrielle's soul. She tracks down Hades and then ventures into the Amazon afterlife to find her. She does it by using shamanism she learnt from Alti, a magic that pulls her into a kind of madness, and it's only at the last minute when she's confronted with a past wrong she must set right, does she seem to be able to regain her sense of self.
You know, nothing would make me happier than seeing you again. You were
my light. I just realized what it was that you gave me. A light of my own. There's something I gotta do. I love you.
What strikes me most about this sequence is just how jarring the magic she uses to find Gabrielle is, and how it serves as a way to communicate the intense and deep grief she has. I viscerally felt the trauma of this loss, which in turn speaks to the depth of her love for Gabrielle. Her ability to recognize this light that Gabrielle helped her find says a lot about where Xena started out on the show, burying her armor because she's ready to give up on life, and where she ends up able to see her own worth. When she says,
But I want you to know that I still think you are the best thing that ever happened to me. You gave my life meaning and joy. You will be a part of me forever.
those are not empty words.
Ow.
It's words like these
Huge.
that a typically laconic, stoic Xena expresses many times throughout the series. She was someone who had learnt to be wary of any emotional vulnerability, but with Gabrielle, she quickly let her pass her defences, and not just that, but she expressed how important Gabrielle was to her again and again throughout the run.
All I want is to be with you right now. You're my best friend. My family. I love you, Gabrielle. I love you, Xena. You talk about trying to find your way, but to me, you are my way.
Now, in spite of how unshakable their relationship might seem, things weren't always good between the warrior princess and the battling bard. Season 3 saw some seismic events that pretty much obliterated Xena and Gabrielle's relationship, starting with when Gabrielle was raped by the satanic god Dayhawk and consequently gave birth to her demon daughter Hope, you know, the one that she fell into the lava pit with. Unable to kill her own child, she sent her down the river, and the daughter shows up again as a 10-year-old child and then kills Xena's son Solon. To add to it, Xena also has essentially abandoned
Good
Gabrielle
grief.
to go repay a debt to Lao Ma, a mentor and, okay, let's be real, also a lover, by killing the Green Dragon. Gabrielle was so jealous she made a deal with the god of war Ares to get there ahead of Xena to stop her, which, let's just say, got super messy. Only the other could stir such powerful feelings of betrayal, hurt, and anger. By the time Xena and Gabrielle find themselves in the land of Illusia, they've got a lot of issues to deal with. They then work through everything, finally, coming to a place of forgiveness that allows them to reunite because even when the worst has happened, their love for each other transcends. And by
So whenever anyone says, we've been through a lot of ups and downs, you just have to compare it to this, and it's nothing. It's nothing. Oh my gosh. The amount of adversity they just had to overcome is crazy.
transcends, I mean it literally transcends all of time and space, which is what we get to see in 2 episodes where the souls of Xena, Gabrielle, and Joxa reincarnate in modern times as Harry, Matty, and Annie. Annie, avid watcher of the hit show Xena Warrior Princess, gotta love the postmodernism of the 90s and the show's
Quite
total
meta.
willingness to derisively be self-referential, is convinced she is the reincarnation of said warrior princess because she keeps
What's up,
having
Shadow King?
visions. When she, along with her boyfriend Harry, go to Matty, a past life regression therapist, the 3 of them realize that they are in fact the reincarnated souls of our 3 protagonists, only Xena is in Harry's body and not Annie's. At the end, Harry ditches Annie for Matty because they are soulmates after all.
It's been a long time.
It's been too long.
Doing well. Doing well.
I'd also like to make an aside here and say it's canon that using the word friend actually means lover when used by Xena and Gabrielle. Now, while you may be wondering how is this gay given they basically give us some convoluted straight shenanigans, we catch up with them in Soul Possession 2 seasons later, and Harry, aka Xena, and Matty, aka Gabrielle, are now married. By the end of the episode, however, Xena is returned into her rightful body, that is to say Annie's, and well, Matty/Gabrielle seems to have absolutely no problem switching from having a husband to having a wife. So while it may have superficially appeared to be straight to appease the powers that be and any Gabrielle Joxa shippers, if there are any, it was in the end very
Probably
not
none.
straight, which I think is an apt parable for the entire show. In its final season, the show really did throw all caution to the wind and gave us the gayest season of them all. What is also very not straight is the episode Girls Just Want to Have Fun. From the title of the episode to the
Title
vampires,
alone.
this episode was very gay, starting with Gabrielle dancing with two queer, vampy-looking ladies who then bite her. She in turn bites Xena.
Gabrielle, do it.
Oh.
And not to be a lesbian, but
Whoa.
Xena looks like she's feeling things if her moans are... So there you go.
That was, yeah.
Because Xena was such an eclectic show, ranging in tone from slapstick to heart-wrenching drama and delighted in being self-aware, we got what is perhaps one of the most tongue-in-cheek episodes with season 6, when the actor Michael Hurst, who played Iolus on the sister show Hercules, came back as a snotty investigative journalist intent on exposing the most important question of all time.
Are you two lovers?
You want the truth?
That's right, Xena. We want the truth. The
Bit
whole
on the
world
nose,
wants
I'd
the
say.
truth.
He also was trying to figure out why Xena wanted to steal the golden apples from the Norse god. It was to restore Aphrodite back to godhood, because without her, no one could love anyone. Of course, when she is restored, Xena and Gabrielle look at each other with literal hearts falling from the sky, so even though the camera goes dead just as we're about to find out...
Gosh.
It's like this. Technically.
Technically.
I think we can guess the answer to this one. So let's just safely assume that Xena and Gabrielle were lovers. So finding out in one of the last episodes of the series that Xena and Ares were officially married back in season 4 in an agreement that spanned for eternity might sound shocking, probably ridiculous.
Will you be my wife?
How's this for an answer?
And then have you wondering how on
Dang.
earth does that deserve to be on a list like this? But it is actually...
Can you imagine if that was the way you get rejected? You get down on one knee, you propose, will you be my wife? You make me the happiest I've ever been in my life. And she just goes, no. Boom.
very gay of Xena. You see, this all happened after Xena lost her mind because Gabrielle had fallen into the lava.
He was to say the
pit
marriage
in order
rate would
save
drop to
Xena
0.
From being killed by the fates if she killed Hope, Gabrielle's evil demigod daughter. Anywho, in exchange, Ares offers to find Gabrielle, and Xena, being desperate, agrees as long as it's in front of the lava pit.
Kind of morbid, don't you think?
No, I think it's fitting. I should be as close as possible to the one person in the world I meant to spend the rest of my life with, as I give myself over to the one person in the world I would never choose.
Things escalate, and it turns out that Gabrielle had given her soul to Ares in exchange for saving her daughter Hope's life. So Xena then trades her soul for Gabrielle's by signing the marriage scroll, which she then steals from Ares and hides under the ocean so that he can never claim her. That is, until the scroll is discovered. Ares comes to claim his bride, but Xena manages to outfox him, and she gets to walk off into the sunset with her wife. So yes, she married Ares, but for the gayest reason to ever gay. Clearly, Xena has done some pretty crazy things in the name of saving Gabrielle, from marrying Ares, being willing to go blind, to jumping onto the doomed ship of Cecrops. But getting beaten to a pulp in order to save Gabrielle, the horror of it, is probably on the more extreme end. After being frozen for 25 years, Gabrielle returns to visit her family, only to find Lilla, her sister,
my gosh.
now...
I bet that was the most peaceful nap of all time. He probably came out of there just feeling so refreshed.
now a middle-aged woman alone. Both parents and her husband dead after trying to rescue Sarah,
I don't need
Lilla's
25
daughter,
year,s
who
but
was sold into
I'm
Gurkhan's
talking like
harem.
a year or
Intent
two
on
would just
revenge,
be
Gabrielle
lovely.
infiltrates the harem along with Xena, and Gabs is about to pull a knife
I think
out
they call
of
it a
Gurkhan
sabbatical.
when Xena, aware of how ill-advised it was,
What's up?
tackles her to
Thanks for the
ground and
follow.
grabs the
Appreciate
weapon.
it.
This earns her a prolonged amount of time of being bet up in a cell in one of the most graphic scenes, I would say, of the entire show. But Xena being willing to take a beating like that for Gabrielle's sake is not what makes this so gay. It's what keeps her going during that time. That's right, it's a vision of Gabrielle dancing sensually before her that does it. There is no straight explanation for this. I'm also struggling to find a straight explanation for the following moment. Xena's daughter
I got
Eve
nothing.
had recently been born,
got
and
nothing.
Gabrielle finds herself leading a small, inexperienced Amazon tribe that needs her skills. She would love nothing more, it seems, than to settle down with Xena and raise Eve within the tribe, which Xena doesn't seem to care too much for. In fact, there seems to be a bit of trouble in paradise.
Queen Gabrielle.
Not tonight.
Who could she be saying that to, Then this whole scene. While we're talking about relations with men, the looks and glances suggest something quite different. Why Gabrielle almost chokes when Xena looks at her as she says this about being chaste forever.
Forever's a long time.
is a sapphic mystery. And then I'm not sure why Xena is reacting like it's a big deal that Gabs likes things gentle and kind. That is, unless they're a couple and they have some things they probably need to talk about. In previous parts of the series, we've already explored how Xena is expressive about how much Gabrielle means to her, and we've seen how her grief manifests when Gabrielle dies. That is to say, she goes a bit doolally. But we haven't looked at what it looks like for Gabrielle. In Season 1, when Xena is struck by a poison dart and eventually succumbs, the way Gabrielle goes so deeply quiet as she looks at Xena's unmoving body and then goes to the forest to beat out her anguish shows how devastating a loss it is to her. We see it again in the two-parter Destiny and the Quest in Season 2 when Xena dies from internal bleeding. When she comes across Iolaus...
I absolutely loved... Well, obviously I first watched Hercules because I was on first. I never really... pay attention much to the story because I was pretty young, but I loved Hercules, and then of course Xena came out into that, and I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. Obviously Xena, I started watching it, a couple episodes here and there. I never really, there wasn't such a thing as like catching every episode just because I was young and had other interests, I guess. But whenever it was on and it, I just had the time, I would watch one, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great that, basically these two worlds existed. I could enjoy both.
He asks her what she would tell Xena if she could. She says,
I would have told her how empty my life was before she came, and that I love her.
This is the first time we touch on this theme of emptiness in Gabrielle, but it is by no means the last.
Xena, I know you can hear me. I just feel this emptiness that I've never known before, and it scares me. When I'm with you, this emptiness that I have felt my entire life is gone.
And I think there may be another time somewhere, I can't remember, but I can't think of a more potent way to communicate how vital Xena is to Gabrielle and how much of a hole is left in her heart without her. Which only makes sense. They are soulmates for all eternity. We see the breadth of what that means in Fallen Angel. After dying on the cross in the Ides of March, we see the souls of Gabrielle and Xena arrive in heaven. As the angels are lifting them to heaven, Gabrielle is grabbed by a creature from hell and is halfway to becoming a demon. Xena won't have it. She maneuvers into becoming an archangel to go rescue her, but ultimately ends up becoming a fully fledged demon herself when she saves Callisto's soul. Even in her demonic state, there is one thing she is very clear about, however.
Gabrielle, the love that we have, it's stronger than heaven or hell. It transcends good or evil. It's an end in itself.
Oh, wow.
Our souls are destined to be together.
And, well, if that doesn't encapsulate what Xena and Gabrielle are to each other, then I don't know what does, and I think it makes a fitting conclusion to this 4-part series. I feel like I hit on the major Xena and Gabrielle moments, but let me know which ones you think I should have included. If you've got any topics you'd like me to cover about the show Xena, feel free to pop that in the comments too. Until next time, lady lovers.
Excellent video. Well done. Go ahead and throw that some love. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love yourself. And also, I'll throw it in the chat here for those watching live. There you are. Excellent. Obviously, check out their channel. They might have other things that interest you. Go ahead and pull up some more information on Xena and Gabrielle. One of the things that really stuck out to me with, and frankly Hercules too, but I think Xena was a little better at this. For as low a budget it was, the writing and dialogue just seemed to always hit. It was good, which is shocking because you think lower budget, worse writers, maybe it doesn't sound as good. Maybe the dialogue kind of turns to crap, if you will. But it was always good from what I remember, and just from seeing those scenes, like it was very powerful moments, and they said the right things. It was very heartfelt and all that stuff. It just, I can think of so many shows that have, recently come out that, maybe they had lots of money poured into it. The writing wasn't very good. Or maybe it was very inexpensive and the writing was terrible. Like it seemed to be pretty impressive, the fact that it was a very low budget show. And they talk about it openly. Very low budget. Didn't have anything. We tried the best we could, practical effects and all that stuff. I forgot to move myself over. let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, the writing is extremely good for the amount of money they spent. Pretty amazing. Xena and Gabrielle, lesbian icon. Oh my gosh, this was written in 2003. Whoa! In June 2001, Lucy Wallace, star of the cult hit Xena, validated legions of the series' dedicated lesbian and bisexual fans when she publicly outed her character on Late Night with Conan O'Brien while promoting the 2-hour finale after a successful 6-year run. It was a 2-hour finale. Oh my gosh. Boy, we had it good back then. Could you imagine if, your favorite Netflix show or whatever platform had a 2-hour finale? Most of them don't. Most of them, are canceled at this point, but you get maybe some loose ends tied up in an hour. It'd be great if a show you were super into had a 2-hour or longer finale. Oh my gosh. Lawless told O'Brien that it was watching this episode that made her alter ego's sexual orientation finally clear to her. Quote, actually, there was always an element of doubt in my mind. It didn't matter to the way I played the role, so if the audience chose to see it or not, but I saw it, the finale, for the first time last night, and I went home and said to my husband, wow, it was a Xena executive producer, apparently. You've outed my character. I can't believe I'm saying this. I didn't run this by anybody, but I don't think there's any doubt in my mind anymore. Character of Xena first appeared in 95, although I will say there was plenty of clips in that video that gave it away. Like, if you're reading between the lines, you can definitely see it. Or maybe if you're just watching them kiss, you could definitely put it together. As an evil warlord, in a 3-episode arc of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, tough warrior woman turned fighter for the greater good was popular enough to garner her own spin-off series. By the late 90s, Xena was the world's most widely syndicated television program. Wow. Seen in more than 115 countries. And the inspiration for scores of new female action heroes in TV and film. Set in ancient Greece, the show featured a flawed superhero with fantastic martial arts-like skill and a dangerous dark side. In short, she was beautiful, sexy, and deadly. Her sidekick, Gabrielle, escaped a boring fiance in village life to tag along with the warrior princess, and their relationship became the backbone of the show. The show became a tale of two independent women who traveled the ancient world without the assistance of men, but with plenty of humor, camp, and great sword fights. Gabrielle's youth, innocence, and penchant for chatting made her a perfect foil to the more stoic Xena. Along the way, Gabrielle grew into quite a fighter herself. Xena and Gabrielle rescued the weak, righted the wrongs perpetrated by the Greek gods, interacted with historical and mythological figures, and often risked their own lives for the welfare of others, all without boyfriends tagging along. The duo also commonly interacted with the Amazons of Lore, society of women often associated with mythic lesbian history, but something else soon appeared to distinguish Xena from the rest of the pack. For lesbian and bisexual women, the writers, producers, and actors began intentionally introducing sexual innuendo and dialogue that lesbian audiences could read as desire between women. Yeah, you just have to read between the lines, basically. Sometimes it's right in your face. While the rest of the show's viewing public wouldn't necessarily notice a thing, such as this exchange in episode 3, or second episode of season 3. Jocks are looking at Xena's neck. Is that a hickey? Gabrielle and Xena both turn away with guilty looks. These hint at a romantic or intimate relationship between the two characters became known as subtext. Lesbian producer Liz Friedman was often interviewed in the gay press as the show's popularity soared and quite openly acknowledged the lesbian subtext, as she did in 96. Quote, that's one of the best parts of the job, getting to throw in references that I know the fans who are interested in that will pick up on, but don't necessarily flash any irrevocable red lights. We opened up a show with the two of them fishing naked. We're about to have a Halloween episode that will certainly have some nice moments for our queer fans. A little lesbian vampire show. as we saw. There was a little literal clip of it in. Lawless played with the mainstream press as well when asked in '97 in a Playboy interview about hard-hitting press of the Playboy magazine about Xena's fantasy vacation. She quipped, "A biennial sailing trip to Lesbos." Comments like these from people associated from the show kept the "are they or aren't they" debate going throughout the lifetime of the series. During the second season, the internet saw an explosion of websites which detailed the subtextual dialogue, looks, and action in each episode. 13th episode of season 2, The Quest, featured Xena leaning in to kiss Gabrielle from a dreamlike state, only to cut to Gabrielle kissing Autolycus. Autolycus? I'm saying that very wrong. A male friend whose body Xena was inhabiting at the time. Episode 15 of season 2, A Day in the Life, included the first of many shared hot tubs, and the two women were often they were hot tub streamers before their time, and the two women were often shown together in a bedroll, holding and comforting one another, declaring their devotion. Many queer viewers embraced the show because it finally let lesbian and bisexual women in on the jokes, because a mainstream television show is intentionally catering to a queer audience, as Lawless mentioned as early as the second season in a '96 interview. Quote, "We talk about it on set. We're all aware of how different sectors of our audience perceive the show. If you're talking about the lesbian element, we are aware and we're not afraid of it. This is a love story between two people. What they do in their own time is none of our business." But the subtext on Xena also had a negative side. Its very existence depended on the show maintaining a don't ask, don't tell type of policy, which prevented the characters' orientations from ever being directly addressed. Although the show did blur the lines and push the envelope for viewers, Xena and Gabrielle's most intimate scenes were often a hurt comfort situation, and the kisses were officially about transferring water or giving mouth to mouth. Oh, they were giving mouth to mouth, all right. Xena did have male sexual partners from the past, especially in the initial episodes. Gabrielle was often enamored with a boy of the week, and even briefly married. The attentions of Ares, Greek god of war, were consistently geared towards seducing Xena into his lair and into his bed. These relationships did not require a subtextual reading and contrasted sharply with the repressed expression of Xena and Gabrielle's relationship. Handful of episodes, Xena's attraction to selected men also brought up issues of infidelity for our perceived couple. Oh, okay. Anthony and Cleopatra, Heart of Darkness, respectively. Gabrielle broke up kissing sessions between Anthony and Xena, and between Xena and Lucifer. Oh, that's not a good one. In both cases, oh my gosh! Now, whenever I think of Lucifer, I think of the actor from the show, the recent Lucifer show. In both cases, seduction was part of the plan. But from Gabrielle's eyes, Xena appeared to be enjoying herself a little too much. On the flip side, we also saw Gabrielle kissing Virgil in Heart of Darkness as well. In spite of this, this episode scorched with an erotic Xena and Gabrielle dance scene, which we saw. One of the few blatantly erotic touches between the two. As the series progressed, the sly jokes and innuendo turned into loving glances and a physical closeness. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we just saw in that video, it got closer. Also created an alternative family together, which struck a chord with many lesbian viewers. This was especially apparent when Xena became pregnant. Xena's first reaction to the news: Gabrielle's gonna freak. Oh yeah, this was the scene that we saw. Gabrielle saying she didn't want to be buried with the Amazons. She wanted to be buried with her and her family. In the sixth and final season, some of the subtext and loving scenes appeared with even more frequency. Well, at that point, they're like, hey, we did it. It's ending. Let's just go wild. At the end of the episode, Gabrielle read these lines to Xena, were written in real life by the poet from the Isle of Lesbo. There's a moment when I look at you and no speech is left in me. My tongue breaks and fire races under my skin and I tremble and grow pale, for I am dying of such. Just a couple gal pals. Just a couple gal pals. Gabrielle's perceived betrayal in season 3 resulted in a vicious attack in which Xena almost killed her. Murderous Xena of old appeared dragging Gabrielle behind her horse and almost throwing her off a cliff. Yikes. In the wake of The Rift, a significant group of women stopped watching in the middle of emotional online discussions about partner abuse. Yikes. The warrior companions endured and wounds healed. Yeah, that's a lot. They had some ups and downs, if you will. Some obstacles. So what's the ultimate legacy of it? The they aren't debate in the media brought lesbian visibility to a mainstream television show, and these two women who loved and shared their lives together became lesbian icons. Were partners in the true sense of the word, became role models, paved the way for other female action shows, of course. For a majority of lesbian viewers, there was never any doubt. Honestly, I'm watching it now with my own eyes and maturity and being a little older. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. There is no debate. There isn't. O'Connor summed it up nicely in a 2001 interview. I think Gabrielle is probably searching for her soulmate and that she found it in Xena, actually. Having been through the entire series, she's probably been searching for the love of her life, ... which is Xena. Show became a lightning rod for fans who responded to a tough chick with a sword and her feisty companion, and the show continues to attract new viewers today in reruns and first runs around the world, 115 countries. Online, the couple lives on through fan fiction, spawned a new industry in the publication of original lesbian fiction. Subtext Virtual Sessions airs new episodes regularly with a huge following. Xena's audience became more than merely passive viewers, and in the process cemented Xena's place in the history of women in television. There you go. Obviously a very important show. I mean, they were able to do a lot within restraints, the network or whatever. Whoever the bigwigs were, assuming it was the network, that didn't want it to be overt. But clearly there was enough subtext there to get the point across that the writers are going for. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. Let's hop into the final video of the day and the week before we kick off this weekend. I hope it's a good one. It's a good one for everybody. This is the official pilot for, I have no idea how this, I'm just going to go with how it looks. It is Hug E. Lee, the musical. It's starring ZeeNunew. I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced. Hug E. Lee. Interesting name. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Let me go ahead and check it real quick to see how this should be displayed. Okay, I need closed captioning on, so we're going to make it into the corner. That on, turn that off. Apologies, a little live editing here. Every video is different. We do have to set it up differently. All right. Go ahead and pause it. Don't jump into the video. Okay. Cool. Do it. And of course, we'll have some. I don't know why. Whenever I. Here we go. All right. There it is. Whenever I brought it back to start over or refresh the page, it would just instantly. All right. Come on now. Is that a setting? It's got to be a setting. Maybe not. Yeah, I have autoplay off. Interesting. Added more to the docs for this. Nice. Was the doc posted? I can't remember. I think all I have right now is maybe it's there and I haven't seen it yet. Wasn't posted as docs, but links. Oh, okay, gotcha. I do have all the links set up, so we're good on that. This is the official pilot of Hug-E Lee, the musical. Posted 1 month ago with 2 million views. Go ahead and get started. It would help if I unmuted it. Let's jump into it. Here we go. Oh, whoa. A million views within 2 days. Wow.
บอกน้อยอาทิตย์หน้าลูกป้าสิบวชไปห้องเพลงอยู่งานให้ป้าในเด้อโอ้ยห้องเพลงนี่หยังมันต้องซอยข่อยเบิ่งล้านไปบ่ได้ดอก
เอาแม่ก็เดี๋ยวน้อยฝากพี่ตาลเฝ้าร้านแทนก็ได้ตัว
แมนจ้ะมือนั่นตาลบอกมีสอนพอดีเดี๋ยวเฝ้าแท่นก็ได้แล้วบ่ได้เอ้าไปเสิร์ฟเลยลูกค้ารอโดดแล้วเร็วน้อยเขาเป็นวัยรุ่นเจนซี่เขาต้องเฮ็ดตามหัวใจแม่ถ้าตัวยังเป็นนักห้องอีหลีนะเขาว่าตัวทีมงานไปโลด
ทีมให้ทีมลานไปแบบบักนิดก็พอค่อยเฮ็ดบ่ได้หรอก
วู้เอ้าเสิร์ฟ
Uh-oh.
น้อยแม่มึง
แม่
น้อยแม่ฝากร้านเนี่ยเด้อลูก
Oh, thanks.
บักนิดถือว่าซอยแม่ได้บ่คนที่เลี้ยงพี่มาคือพ่อไม่ใช่แม่ค่อยถามอีหยังเนี่ยทอมคนที่เขามักเขากรีดเจ้านี่เขาพูดอยู่บ่ว่าเจ้านี่มันเป็นง่วลืมตีน
คุ
คุณนิชคะเดี๋ยวหลังจบโชว์เย็นนี้เราจะมีถ่ายแบบกับแบรนด์นี้กันนะคะ
ไอหมดลมแล้วฝากยูไปบอกเขาด้วยนะไอขอถอนตัวจากการเป็นพรีเซนเตอร์ Got it
ค่ะ
นี่มึงไปทำอีท่าไหน ให้เขาถอนตัวได้ไวช้า
ผมพยายามแล้วจริงนะครับพ่อ
กูก็เห็นมึงพูดแบบนี้ตลอด
แต่พ่อครับ
ถ้ามึงพยายามจริง ทำไมมึงทำอะไรก็เจ๊ง
Got some interesting familial relationships here.
พ่อครับ พ่อ
That's an old Chevy Impala.
ผมไม่ใช่หรอกพี่ช้าง
อ้าว เอาอีอย่างดีครับมือนี่เอาเซี่ยวอีหยังครับ ก็บอสั่งจากเธอ
นี่ครับพี่ช้าง
ผมเอาตำไทยพริกขอใส่2 เม็ดละกัน ไม่เอาเปลี่ยนใจเผ็ดไปไม่ใส่ละกัน
nice.
ไม่แซ่บพริก2แต่เอาเม็ดออกด้วยนะเดี๋ยวลิ้นมันจะเผ็ดช้ำชอบใครจะช่วยอะครับ
ชิมมะละกอให้มันเล็กหน่อยได้ไหมครับ ก็ดูจากเส้นกินเข้าไปแล้วคงจะบาดคอ ก็อยากจะขอให้พี่ช่วยสับหน่อยอะครับ
แล้วใส่ไข่เค็มหั่นแบ่งสีให้ด้วยนะครับ
ครกที่ล้างหน่อยกินปลาร้ามันโชยมันละ ผ่านมาเป็น10เป็น100พี่ไม่เคยล้างเลยเหรอครับ
Oh my
คิด
gosh.
ไปคิดมาถ้าเอาเม็ดออกยังเผ็ดอยู่ล่ะ
งั้นพี่ผมไม่เอาส้มตำแค่ไก่ปิ้งก็พอแล้วครับ
อีแก้ว ปิ้งไก่
แต่ขอไม่ใช่ไม่เกรียมไม่มันมาก เอาแค่ครึ่งปีกก็พอ
Could you imagine customers like this? Although I assume this happens quite often.
ก็ตำอร่อยดีนี่
บอสสื่อก็ยังมาบังหนาร้าน
บ้างเบิ้งอะไร พูดอะไรก็ไม่รู้เรื่อง มึงจำกูไม่ได้หรือไง
อ๋อ
I don't need to imagine. Yeah, I bet. I
เรื่อง
bet.
นี้หน่อยนะมีฝา
ผมไม่ได้พูดกับคุณ
Any sort of customer service job,
Hey,
you're dealing with it.
เธอก็ไม่ต้องพูด
For any sort of interaction with customers.
ขั้นมาบ่ฮูเรื่องปานนี้กูบ่ขายแล้ว ปิดร้านหนี
ไปแล้วนั่นไปแล้ว
สิหายแล้วบังนุ่มกรุงเทพน่ามาเปิดร้านอยู่หน้าร้านเฮ้าเฮ้ย
เอา
Oh
มาหา
my
ผมที่เลยเหรอ
gosh.
ครับเนี่ย ว่าจะชวนมางานการโอเพนนิ่งซะหน่อย
น้อย
เฮ้ยคุณเลย
น้อยพี่ช้างมานี่
Random shirtlessness.
เอาลูกเลยพี่ช้าง
Oh,
เฮ้ยหยุดนะคุณ เฮ้ยทำอะไรเนี่ย เป็นบ้าหรือไง เฮ้ย
oh no.
บักกี้ขโมย
ก็ผมเห็นมันตกอยู่ริมถนนผมก็เลยหยิบมา
ยังมากี่ตัวแถวนี้ สูตรแม่กูนี่
คุณมีหลักฐานเหรอ หรือว่าคุณจะจับผมส่งตำรวจ จะตรวจยังไงนะ ว่ารสชาติอาหารร้านผมมันเหมือนร้านคุณอะ ในเมื่ออาหารร้านผม มันเป็นฟิวชั่น
อยู่กันดีๆบ่ได้แม่นบ่อีแก้ว
เก่งสิวะเก่งเก่ง
อย่าเฮ้ย
Oh wow. This is like that movie Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. They just go to war.
ส้นสปาเกตตี้กูไปไหนวะพี่ช้างดูเสื้อพวกเราดิดูดิพี่โอ้โหจะอ้วกเย้พี่เย้
เศร้าเฮ้ยจะเอาป้ายผมไปไหนนี่
คุณก็เหมือนกันนั่นแหละ
Oh my gosh.
เอาคุณก็เอาคืนมาก่อนตัว
That's amazing. From enemies to lovers. Am I in love or was that a concussion?
น้อยน้อยน้อยมือยังนี่
บ่มีหยัง
บุ้ยอยากสิท่านอาหารฟิวชั่นแมนบอเอ๊ะเป็นจังไดหลานรักของป้าป้ามาทวงของป้าคืน
เฮ้ยหรือว่าเราจะชนะแล้ววะพี่
ชัวร์ผมว่าชัวร์
เฮ้ยโดนยึดที่ว่ะน้อย
Dang, that's too bad.
น้อย
Still not used to black hair ZeeNunew. It was red for a minute, right?
น้อง
ต้มใจแล้วโบเดี๋ยวร้านคุณก็จะได้เป็นร้านอันดับหนึ่งของที่นี่แล้วผมถามจริง
Still fairly ginger. Okay.
ๆคุณนายจะถึงเกลียดผมขนาดนี้เนี่ยบอกได้ก็ใช่บอกตอนนี้
Declaration of love. Oh, okay.
รับอะไรดีครับ
From enragement to fondness.
มีส้มตำ
The
บ่
subtitle.
ไม่เคยตั้งใจสักนิดว่าจะแอบคิดกับเธอเป็นคนพิเศษไม่เคยจะรู้สาเหตุแต่ที่รู้มันมีอาการแปลกไปเฝ้าคิดถึงเสียงเธอเฝ้าคิดถึงสายตาคิดถึงช่วงเวลาที่เราใกล้กันเหมือนอยู่กลางสายลมเหมือนอยู่ในความฝันมันควบคุมตัวเองฉันยากเหลือเกินถ้าคิดถึงเธอมากกว่านี้คงต้องหลงรักเธอแน่ควรหยุดไหมใจเจ้าเอ๋ยยิ่งคุ้นเคยยิ่งทรมานหัวใจถ้าคิดถึงจนกลายเป็นรักอยากกอดเธอขึ้นมาทำไง
So he's a big fan of love songs, love ballads. Like perfect. Oh my gosh. That is a funny scene. There you go. Wow. The celeb twin.
อ้าว น้อยน้องรัก พี่กลับมาหาแล้วนะ บักนิด มาเฮ็ดหยัง
Neat.
นิด
Neat.
นิด โอ้ย สิมาเฮ็ดหยัง Who are you people พี่ก็แค่อยากกลับมาหาคืนวันเก่าๆกับน้องของพี่ไง เฮ้ยอย่างวะ
Soon. Soon. Excellent. That was very nice. Wow. Got a good bit of music in that. Nunew's voice and everything. Very nice, very nice. Story seems interesting. It definitely reminded me of the movie Neighbor. I'm sure there's other examples. This one just kind of popped into my where, you know, they start out as enemies and then they turn to friends in that movie, where they're pulling pranks on each other and whatnot. Obviously a very different storyline, but it just kind of reminded me of that for some reason. Very nice. Let me go ahead and throw that some love. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love yourself. And also, of course, check out the Mandy channel, I think it's called. For other interesting things, I'll throw the link in the chat. For those watching live on Twitch. Go ahead and pull up some information on. Very nice. Good production quality on that. Very good, actually. Kind of interesting, the at the end, the little twist there of the celebrity twin. New Z for Eve's Hannah to star in the Domundi TV's first musical series. That's huge. That is huge. To be the first. It's a big honor. New not only sings, but you also speak in the Eisen dialect. Play a pair of twins. I have no idea what that word is. My apologies. New and his on-screen partner Z will play the leading role for the first ever musical series produced by Domundi TV. Huggy Lee, the musical, or such and such, also stars For Eve member Hannah, as well as Luck Thung Legends. I'm gonna screw this up. Hi, Fond and Powley. I'm out of my element. Out of my element. That looks very, very good. They did a good job on that. When was this posted? Posted. Don't. See if we can find it on Instagram. Not sure. Probably a while ago. At least early 2025, maybe. Musical announced. Oh, it says it literally the next sentence. The musical was announced on February 20th. There you go. I didn't have to look for it. Pronounced Isan. It's a Thai dialect in northern Thailand. Thank you for the information and the context. I appreciate it. Alongside other upcoming series, the production house, which also manages Z and Nunu, is working on this year, along with the cast. Domundi also released a 14-minute pilot. Watched. Nunu plays the role of Noi, the son of Somtam Seller, who dreams of making it as a star. Which, much to the disdain of his mother, fortunately. I get that, though. She had a business. She was proud of the business. She wanted to keep it going in the family. Very understandable. A lot of business owners want to pass it on to their family. Z, meanwhile, plays the role of Chang, the son of a wealthy man. Chance encounter brings the two together, but there will be plenty of twists involved if the pilot is anything to go by. Lots of twists. Not only will the musical see Nunu take on the Lukthung genre, he will also be speaking in the Isan dialect and play a pair of twins on screen, which we saw. No official release date has been named other than soon, but fans are already eagerly anticipating the series, with many calling it refreshing take on the boys love genre. I do believe it is refreshing. The first ever musical. That's great. I mean, obviously they can sing, so it makes sense to go in that direction. Many more of the pairings and couples can sing as well, so it makes sense that this genre of BL from Domundi might quite rapidly increase depending on the interest, which it seems like this has a pretty good amount of interest. So a million views within 2 days, I believe. Pretty big. Two Hearts, One Collection. A new collaboration's on the way. Can you guess who? Video has no sound. Okay, just want to be sure. Jim Thompson. Can you guess who?
สวัสดีแฟนๆจิมทอมสันทุกคนนะครับผมตอนนี้เราก็อยู่ที่กองถ่ายคอลเลคชันสุดพิเศษนะฮะของพวกเราเองนะครับผมจิมทอมสัน X ZeeNunew ครับ
ในวันนี้เนี่ยได้มาร่วมงานกับจิมทอมสันตื่นเต้นมากอยากให้ทุกคนเห็นแล้วว่าวันนี้เรามาทำอะไรกันบ้าง
ใช่แล้วครับผมเราทั้งสองคนก็อยากเชิญชวนโซนๆนะฮะแล้วก็แฟนๆจิมทอมสันทุกคนนะฮะมางานเปิดตัวคอลเลคชันใหม่นะครับผมในวันที่4 มีนาคมนะครับผมที่จิมทอมสันวันแบงคอกครับ
โดยที่ในงานเนี่ยจะมีกิจกรรมพิเศษที่หนูกับเฮียอยากให้โซนๆมาร่วมมากๆเลยครับแต่ว่าตอนนี้ต้องอุบไว้ก่อนเพราะยังบอกไม่ได้ครับก็แฟนๆเนี่ยสามารถติดตามรายละเอียดกิจกรรมของอีเวนต์นี้ได้เลยนะครับผ่านทางโซเชียลมีเดียของจิมทอมสันพร้อมแฮชแท็กจิมทอมสัน X ZeeNunew ครับ
แล้วมาเจอกันเยอะๆนะครับผม
เจเจียน
I will say Nunu is a heck of a salesman. Like, that was flawless. I don't know how many takes that was, but the passion was there. That was very nice. Jim Thompson is a Thai silk brand. Interesting. Two Hearts, One Collection. That's a great name. We have to come out with the One Heart, One Collection. Oh, that was nice. Oh my gosh. The color correction on that, perfect. Perfect. Vibes were there. That was awesome. That was so cool. There's a story behind Jim Thompson on his own. The wait is over. Two Hearts, One Collection. The exclusive Jim Thompson, ZeeNunew collaboration launches today. Step into a world of romance, sun, and sea with eye-catching prints, delicate embroidery, and the charm of summer style. Yeah, summer is literally right around the corner. Now available at select stores and online. So we're definitely going to pull that up. We'll check it out here soon. Paint the Coast red with the latest pieces from Two Hearts, One Collection by Jim Thompson and ZeeNunew. With vibrant prints and effortless style, these pieces are made for sunny days and beachside romance. Now available. Looks great. I'm sure it's very comfortable. Lightweight and everything. Oh, come on, Facebook. Oh, God, I really despise. I really despise. Oh gosh. See if we can hold on. There we go. These are great photos too. Excellent. Fill your summer with love and style. ZeeNunew worked with them last year to design their collection. Nice. Very cool. Obviously worked out well. That's so nice. Oh my gosh. Beautiful beach. Ooh. Take a look at the journey behind. Creative process, discussions. This is not an ad, by the way. I've not gotten any Jim Thompson. This must be really something to have like a full team of people behind you, like helping with this process and everything. Looks great, honestly. These degrees in advertising and marketing, that definitely helps. Wow, that's nice. Go ahead and this one. This was posted March 5th. Our hearts are full after the launch of Two Hearts, One Collection, a beautiful collaboration between Jim Thompson and ZeeNunew. This collection is a true reflection of love and creativity. Thank you all to fans and with love and support. Energy makes every moment unforgettable. Very cool. What an interesting space. Refresh, and it's gone. Yeah, that looks so comfortable. You definitely want less heavy fabric in the summer, so it works out well. Silk. What a beautiful store. Good grief. Wow. Very high-end looking. Q&A, probably maybe some, maybe some games. I'm not exactly sure. Some more cuteness from last night. Without you, this magical moment would have never been possible. Thank you for making it unforgettable. Love that I figured out this little trick to get rid of that window. That's a great shot. That is a great shot. I feel like that's a new pose. Very cool. Oh, those are microphones. Oh my gosh. That is so many microphones. Holy crap. Dang. Launch event moments. Turnout for the press conferences are incredible. Yeah, that's a lot of people. I like how it's just not just press. It's like actual people, like fans too. Obviously, there was a lot of press there with the amount of microphones, but it also seems like there was a decent amount of fans there as well. Oh, that vibe is so nice. This was posted 6 days ago. You've overwhelmed us in the best way. The response to our limited edition Lucky Box has been incredible. So much so that our website is temporarily down. To place your order, the order form is available here. Our team will process your order and follow up with a confirmation shortly. Thank you for your enthusiasm and for crashing the site with your excitement. E-commerce team. Oh, wow. That's a huge box. ZeeNunew's giggles always make me smile. Oh, gosh. Why am I zooming in that much? Very cool. Very, very cool. ZeeNunew with Jim Thompson. This is some footage from the event. Your sales events and press conferences are like mini concerts. That's awesome. That is so neat. 2 hearts, 1 collection. The dog's a paid actor, by the way. Paid actor. That is so cool. Go ahead and head on to the website. Visiting from the USA? I am. Be the first to check out our new and improved website. Oh, okay. Okay, we're on the VIP list apparently. Go. On silk. This is not an ad again. Oh. Good grief, that is not cheap. Oh my gosh. Then again, I haven't really bought many silk shirts. I have no idea if this is. That explains how the store is so nice. A $250 shirt. Wow. That is $125. Whoa. $350 caftan. $320 maxi dress. I think that's normal price. There's Jim. 1951, American architect Jim Thompson discovered Thailand's fading art of silk weaving, transformed it forever. An architect's precision and an artist's vision, he worked with local artisans to revive their ancient craft, creating designs that would soon adorn Broadway stages, luxury fashion houses. Though Thompson mysteriously disappeared in 1966. That is wild. So he only did it for 15 years. Oh, legacy lives on as Asia's first true luxury lifestyle brand, where traditional craftsmanship meets contemporary design. Disappeared in 1967. So who ran it? Is it family? Said there's a story behind him. Yeah, you did. Oh my gosh. That's wild. An interesting outcome. Oh. Ah. Locked again. I had no idea that was coming. Huh. Well, it looks nice, honestly. Everything there looks pretty good. There it is. Here's the set. Long sleeve shirt. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the. Would you like 20%? I would. Here's the short sleeve. That's a little bit more summer driven here. Cotton silk classic short sleeve shirt. Good, looks good. $184, 58 cents. Items made from 100% silk. Slim fit. Striped linen. Okay. Drawstring shorts as well. There's that Hawaiian pocket shirt. Oh, the Lucky Box. Oh, cool. Very neat. Get a shirt, get a little plushy keychain things, you get a fan, obviously a commemorative box. Photos. Very neat. Very cool. Head version. This shirt looks pretty. Nice. Very good looking shirt. Good looking collection. Breathable fabric. I mean, you would hope, right? Crafted from lightweight linen fabric. Keeps you cool. Little expensive for what I usually... I'm not much of a big spender when it comes to fashion. But honestly, it looks great. They did a good job on it. Big bag. Beach bag. Cotton. A couple pockets. Complete the look. I want the bag, but between the cost of the bag and shipping, not going to be making it to my house. Yeah. I was looking at the bag like, I bet most people would want the bag. Bag looks great. And it's always handy to have a extra bag around. Carry a bunch of stuff. Shipping costs are crazy expensive. Oh, okay. I gotta figure. Add it to cart. Oh, does it say here? Free shipping within Thailand on all orders over 2,000 baht. Free international shipping on orders over 250. So you definitely have to spend 250. A bag is 201. So if you get the bag and like a shirt or something. Yeah, you'd have to get a bag and a shirt. But then again, that's probably more expensive than... All prices include the VAT. Add to cart. Check out now. See this guy. Oh, you earn points. They got points. Where are we shipping to? This is too much. I don't want to do that much. I'll just take your word for it. It's expensive. Or you have to spend $250, which you can't do because there's nothing $50 worth unless you get something else. A different part of the store, I guess. A scarf or something. Interesting. Great collection. Looks very nice. Unfortunate, but yeah, that's cool. It's just more things to push them out into the mainstream, into the fashion world, all that good stuff. The talent has to be, they're able to sing, they can do concerts, models, they can fashion, they can do collabs, all this stuff, right? Shows, commercials. Like it really is impressive just how much they're able to do. They're very talented, obviously. I don't know if I guess they do train them in multiple different areas. So it really opens up the possibilities for not only their career, but also obviously the company as well they're interactive with. Makes them extremely marketable. Extremely marketable. So if you didn't, if you don't hear their music, maybe you see them in a show. And if you don't see them in the show, maybe you see them at a fashion week or, a clothing collab or something like that. Like it's pretty impressive. Like they're going to be in front of you in one way or the other. Awesome. Very cool. The official pilot was awesome. It looked super intriguing. I liked the twists and turns. I liked the back and forth was very interesting and funny. Obviously, it's very sad for the Noi character, forced to kind of take on this role of keeping the family business around without following his dreams. I'm assuming it eventually ends up that way, you know, following the dreams and whatnot, but obviously we weren't introduced to the entire plot in the pilot. But I'm assuming that's the case. But we'll see. We shall see. Should be interesting. I guess I believe you all said they start filming it next year, which is good. I mean, it's something to look after, you know? Something to look out for. Soon. Excellent. I hope you all enjoyed it today. I know I did. It was only 4 videos, but we did split one of them into 2, so it was basically 5. There isn't a lot out yet on the musical. Okay, so we're left kind of guessing a little bit, filling in the gaps when we can. Interesting. What's going on? What's going on? What's up, Fuse? Welcome in. All right, everybody. It's been awesome. I hope you enjoyed Friday. I know I did, as always. Kind of a quick stream. 3 hours. It's kind of funny that 3 hours is a short stream. They still need to complete the script, and ZeeNunew has a movie and tour this year. Oh, my gosh. Okay. So it makes sense that they're not starting yet. Well, we do have the next Prince, which will be out this year. That's something to look forward to. And eventually, this one. So, and an album. Dang. There's one thing that's true. They're going to be busy. They're going to be busy for sure. Oh my gosh. If you'd like to request your own videos, you can certainly do so. Guide the show, guide the tour. What am I, going on tour? If you'd like to guide the stream, you certainly can do so. ToddReacts.com. The season and series tiers are the ones you're looking for. Follow the Twitch channel if you haven't already and you're watching live. I appreciate it. If you want to check it out live and be in the chat and be active. If you'd like to watch it on YouTube, certainly subscribe to the YouTube. That way you get mentioned or the videos thrown in front of you on your home screen. I appreciate it. Next Prince starts at the end of April. Well, there you go. April or May. It's coming up. Coming up quick. It's awesome. Check out the Discord. All these lovely people in the chat, they're in the Discord, and they're more than happy to have a conversation with you. Certainly I am as well. I'll see you in there. It's free. The links are everywhere. You'll find it everywhere. On the website, YouTube videos, everywhere. So join us. Become part of the community. Greatly looking forward to it. And your input, of course. Check out the merch, winter collection. Speaking of merch, check out the merch, winter collection, available at ToddReacts.com for a limited time, and then we're switching over to the summer collection, of course. But we will see you soon. I hope you have a tremendous weekend. Join us back here on Monday for another trip around the internet, one member requested video at a time. I appreciate it, everybody. Good night. Good morning, whatever time it is for you. Have fun. Do something interesting this weekend. Report back on Monday. Stay safe out there, and see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.